Okay.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a special Thursday edition of the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, and joining me right now via Zoom, I have.
Bunny.
There we go. Because when it's about sports,
It becomes our business.
there we go. And business just picked up. What is going on, Bunny, on this Thursday? I just saw you yesterday. What's going on?
I know, right? But it's okay, though.
That's okay.
It's a beautiful thing to be seen 2 days in a row, okay? It's good.
Yes, it is.
Hey, we got NFL kicking off as we speak. Got some more NBA playoffs. Hey, this is a great Thursday. How you doing?
I am doing well, and you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. From our show being on, to basketball, to college baseball, to NFL, it's crazy. But we here, and shouts out to everyone who's tuning in right now. We see the comments coming in. RC says, "What's good, y'all? What's going on with you? Thank you for the love. Make sure y'all go ahead and share this stream with all your peoples right now. If you are on Facebook land and you may be watching under our special guest page, make sure y'all leave your comments and questions and everything under our page, which is on your screen right now. Because if you don't do it, we cannot see your comments. Everybody else on Facebook land, on Twitter, y'all good to go. We're about to have a good time. Bunny, are you ready for a nice special Thursday night edition?
Man, I am ready. Especially for the special guests. I'm ready. Hear what you got to say. Hear what we're going to be talking about. Hey, let's go.
All right. So, with that being said, without any further ado, man, I've been following this guy for more than 5 years, probably longer than that. As soon as he hits go live on YouTube or on Twitch or wherever site that he's on, he instantly within maybe 5 minutes already has like 50,000 people, maybe more than that, tuning in, and he just does what he loves to do, which is play games, whether it's role-playing games or my favorite sports games. So without any further ado, on to the show. Bring in iPod King Carter.
Oh.
There he is. There you go.
Hey now. Hey, welcome.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show, brother. How are you doing?
I'm chilling. Thank you for having me. You feel me? It perfect. Stop lurking, bro.
They stop lurking.
I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Is it me or is it y'all?
I'm not getting anything right now.
When we were talking, did you hear any? Because I don't hear it between you and me.
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming out, but we'll see what the chat say. Hey, check the audio. Make sure audio 100. Yo, spam one in the chat. The audio great.
Look at that East Coast accent.
Yeah, it's full effect. Hey, I'm so used to seeing him doing that on his live stream. I'm like, this dude here, something else. hey yo.
Why you gotta check it?
Hey, I understand.
The funniest thing I've always said about streaming, man, is 30% video and 60% audio. Like, people want to just have a good experience. Yeah, because if you yelling in their ears and all this ear rape, they can't take it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially they can't wear them in the ear headbuds because they drive them crazy. So
yeah,
you guys gotta make sure that audio right.
That's why I be telling our third member Stan. He like to be like, he's a performer. He's a spoken word artist, singer, etc. So he likes to be on the microphone like he's in the studio, like up here. And I'm like, you ain't gotta do all that. You can just be far away and it'll pick up everything.
Yeah, some people like that ASMR type vibe though.
Yeah, yeah. He be doing his Luther Vandross on the mic. You got, I don't know, it's a sports talk show right now.
Right, he gotta learn how to flip it on, flip it off. Which stage you on?
Yeah, I feel you on that.
So let's see.
These comments are rolling in already. Look at them.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, my homie RC came through, Perk came through.
That's what's up, man. Once again, everybody, share. Let's show this man some love on this show. And I know he get plenty of man love already on his pages, but he on the platform Sportstalk.
Right.
So our love is different.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? We should have put in front of his name, legendary IpodKingCarter.
Stop it. Nah. Listen, I'm probably the most humble, you know what I mean? I just always look at the blessings, you know what I mean? That's how I look at everything, you know. When I started this, I didn't even know I would be where I am right now. I just was making videos just for fun, you know what I mean? To have some of the homies that I play with. Funny thing, one of my homies that I used to play 2K with was from St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? We used to game all the time, heavy. You know what I mean? He just recently got engaged and married, and he doing his own music thing in St. Louis right now. So I'm proud of him because we both just was sitting in our drawers, staring at the TVs, playing the game. So that was the vibe back then, you know.
You want to give him a shout out? What's his name? What's his artistry and all that? What's his name?
Oh, it's my homie Red. You know what I'm saying? My homie Red. Like, if you from St. Louis, I will hope that you know him. But a lot of people, like, he been switching up his name so much, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
I don't know what his new artist name is, but I'll probably look him up on Facebook real quick. Hold up.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I like to give a shout out to people show love, especially from the league. You know how we do.
Right. So when's the last time you been to St. Louis?
Funny thing, I've never been to the Louis at all.
We gotta make that happen.
Yeah, I never. The crazy thing, I've never. Have I traveled? Okay, if you consider Minnesota Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. That's the furthest that I went into the Midwest.
Oh wow, okay. And I know we had the discussion before Bunny came on, but tell Bunny, where do you work right now?
You said where I work?
Yes.
Oh, so basically, I work at the Philadelphia International Airport. So like, I get to fly wherever I want for free.
Ain't that something?
Dope.
Yeah. So like, I always tell people, like, don't stray away from streams of income. You know what I mean? Because what people tend to do is they want to chase a dream so bad that they'll leave all the small stepping stones for that dream and essentially not make it to ends meet. You know what I mean? So I always tell people, always keep something in your back pocket. You know what I mean? Of course, everybody would think $20 an hour is great money. You know what I mean? The flight benefits helps your business because you can fly to different cities and stuff like that and branch out. You know what I mean? Especially for like makeup artists, creators, musicians. Like, you know what I mean? It's just insane.
Mm-hmm. So
it's big time.
So before we delve into more stuff with what you're doing now, Bunny, if you don't mind doing the honors, what's the question that we always ask our guests initially?
Let's hope I get it right. Cross my fingers. What is the first sport you fell in love with? Cross?
Basketball.
Oh, you almost had it.
Oh. We can't hear you smooth. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think you said that you almost said it right?
Yeah, you almost had it right, Bunny.
Okay. You know, there's something on your mind that you want to hold on.
Okay. Yeah, why she get that figured out right now. So something that we love to ask is, when did you develop your love of sports?
I would have to say it came from Pampers, period. I remember when I was a young boy, my dad had shown me like small baby clothes that I used to wear. Like, it was all merchandise from different sports teams. It was the Eagles, it was the Phillies, it was the Sixers. So I was always a sports kid, you know what I mean? I grew up playing T-ball. I did that until I was about 12 to 13. Then I hopped into football, did a little bit of Pee-wee, and then I ended up playing basketball up until like my junior year of high school. So like, I've always been into sports, and then sports gaming just blew up. You know what I mean? Madden came out. Of course, you know, you had Techno Bowl 101,
Right.
Bird and Jordan and all that. But once Madden and all that, NBA Live and all that stuff coming out, like was it 9-4, 9-5?
Yeah.
Them Jones changed everything. You know what I mean? So all about sports gaming.
So as you was answering Bunny's question earlier, so basketball was your first love?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Outside of basketball, what other sports did you start to play prior to going to high school?
Baseball and football.
Okay. What position did you play in basketball?
Small forward.
Okay.
Mainly because I was chubby.
Good answer.
Yeah, everybody was short, but I was definitely small forward because I was chubby.
And then with you being from the Philadelphia area, I know during that time you had Charles Barkley out there doing damage too.
I mean, yeah, but we was more so into AI back then because he was just drafted. You know what I'm saying, like around like 9-6. So like he really changed the game for everybody. He brought the swagger to Philadelphia. You know what I mean? Like so that was really like our inspiration growing up. It was all about Allen Iverson. And when we got to age, we wanted to travel to Friday, see if we can get to one of his little Friday night Jones where we pull up with the crazy cars and all that.
Right.
That was what we wanted to be into.
That's what's up. So, all right, you brought up baseball. So, what position did you play in baseball?
First base, shortstop, center field, and center.
Okay, you all around athlete.
Yeah, I was never a pitcher though. I didn't have the arm for it. I had the accuracy, but I just didn't have the arm.
Mm-hmm. And then plus it takes so much work to be ready every game.
Yeah,
throwing loose, throwing sliders, throwing change ups, throwing the fastball, all them off speed pitches. Mm-hmm. So I definitely understand that. And then you said football as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And what position?
I was offensive lineman and defensive lineman. Because I was chubby back then. Yo, is that
right? You work both sides of the ball because you I'm sorry.
So
you know how it is. You come up in the hood in these power leagues and all that. So like, you can't make weight. You want me to drive back on? Go ahead, run around that thing, hit that line.
to the line, everybody on the line.
Right. It was so many crazy nights trying to make weight.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, did everyone call you by a certain nickname during those times?
I was definitely Dave Carter. I was always Dave Carter.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Straight government name, huh?
Yeah. It was crazy because I thought I would have a cool name like Junior or DC or something like that. Like some people call me DC, but mainly it was Dave Carter until I got to high school.
I see. RC says, "Yep, I was on the line too."
Yo, it was brutal, man.
Man,
I was sitting at your life, baby.
So, what is of course, like I said, we're from St. Louis, Missouri, and we know sports is a really big deal to us. Just tell us from your experience going into high school, even during your high school years, how big is sports in Philadelphia?
Sports in Philadelphia is just as big as any other metropolitan city. The thing is, Philadelphia is different from the Delco state counties and stuff like that. So I went to American Christian Strathaven for high school, right? They were playing some of the Philadelphia teams, but they also were playing in the Delco leagues. So it was so much like professionalism, competition, different venues. You know how AU was. Like, we had to travel state to state and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was crazy in the Delco system. Like, you had to travel so much.
And I'm sorry, can you tell everybody the name of the high school that you went to?
American Christian Strathaven.
Okay. All right. So what led you that school?
So basically, American Christian was my mom and dad trying to figure out how to not let me go to Chester High because Chester High was one of the worst schools in the county. You know what I mean? Low scores, bad funding, all of that. So they ended up paying tuition for me to go there. And before Tyreek Evans came there, I had a conversation with him at the basketball court, and him and his pops and his older brothers, they tried to figure everything out. Like, yo, what he gonna do? Next thing you know, you're an American Christian. You know what I'm saying? Yep.
Game over.
Like we all try to get it tight knit. Like Chester's not that big. You know what I mean? At all.
Yeah, I actually went to Philadelphia for the first time about 3-4 years ago on my birthday, and was able to travel around. Of course, I got to see the Rocky statue. Drove past 76ers stadium, arena, Phillies stadium, same with the Eagles. Thought overall it was a really good experience going to Philadelphia, just seeing the different culture compared to being in St. Louis. I also had the pleasure of going by Boys to Men's old high school.
Yeah.
I was like,
you hit all the spots.
yeah.
That's why I couldn't give iPod too many problems because I never been to Philly.
Oh,
He never been to St. Louis, I never been to Philly.
got you. Yeah, and I was able to see the Liberty Bell, so that was cool too. I can't recall what area it was that, but it was like some kind of like museum looking building, and it had a
Yeah. So it's in South Philly.
Okay.
So it's like right in the old city. So yeah, like it's a big all South Philly.
Got you. Yeah, the reason why I was out there at that time was I'm a drummer for my church, and we was asked to come out to a fellow church of ours. It's African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church. I can't recall the name of it right now, but it was the first ever African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church ever, and it was right there in Philadelphia. So we was able to be there to perform, and I was on drums. And then, of all people, who also was there at the church was Sid the Entertainer.
Okay. I bet that.
I'm like, man, I'm on the drum. I got Sid the Entertainer. He in the pew doing this and bobbing his head. I'm feeling good about myself right now. I'm feeling quite good right now.
Represent St. Louis right.
There it is. I still got the picture somewhere. So, certain things you just can't forget about, Going back, man. So, you go into high school. What sports did you play in high school?
I played basketball mainly. So, I played JV for American Christian and Strath Haven. Yeah, I wasn't going for varsity. I ain't going to play cat now.
But you hold it down. So you didn't play varsity at all, and no other sports outside of this basketball, right?
Yeah, just basketball in high school.
So, with you being so big now with streaming and playing video games, I'm pretty sure you was at a very young age already getting into video games. Was there something that you took in school that helped you in regards to learning more about computers and knowing about technology?
Actually, funny story. When I went to Strath Haven, we had a computer class. And in this computer class, it was teaching us how to make macro media and stuff like that, Flash, everything like back then. So I just got into it like immersed. I was like, ooh, I like this. You know what I mean? So the reason how I got my name is because I had one of the first iPods and stuff like that, and we was just rocking. You know what I mean? At a party real crazy. So I've been IpodKingCarter ever since before YouTube.
Got you. So that's where the famous iPod name came from.
Right. So he had to make on YouTube. He had his name branded already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got that joint from a house party.
Hey, like send me the residuals.
Right.
Send me the checks, yo. All right. So what college did you end up going to?
Another funny story. I wanted to go to DCCC, Delaware Community College, and I did my intake. I took all my tests and everything. I showed up to the window with my first set of tuition and everything like that. And then I had got a call when I was in the car on my way there. And then I had a choice to make. It was either go work at the airport, you know what I mean, and chase that dream of flying for free and traveling and stuff like that, or go to school and I really didn't have everything mapped out. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I was into working, getting money, being on my own. So I decided, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and go get some money real quick.
I get money.
I guess the rest is history, as they say, huh?
It's been crazy ever since. You know what I mean?
Hey, I love it though, because I love flying. Traveling is one of my favorite things to do. Flying. My daddy used to work for the airline, so I've been traveling from when I was an infant. I had a passport before I was walking.
Oh, that's fire.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's fire. See, I had got my passport. Where was the first place I went? I got mine. It was either Tokyo or Europe. No. I'm capping. I went to Canada. That's where I went. I went to Canada the first time. Yeah, because I had to do something for EA Sports, and they wanted me to do something for UFC. Yep. So I had to fly out there.
Yeah, see, that's how much I know this guy, because I recall that trip that he made, because I think he had like a little vlog going like every day. Yeah, every day he was, when you got to the airport, when you got to the hotel, when you got to this place here. So before we get to more of your passion with video games, you said earlier basketball is pretty much your favorite sport. Is that correct?
Yes.
So we had a little conversation, but we're going to talk about it more now. Let's talk about your Philadelphia 76ers, man. What?
I don't know who's on that topic of it.
That's what we're doing here. I've been bamboozled into this chat.
No, hey, let me make you feel a little bit better. St. Louis does not have an NBA team, okay? Right,
so you're lucky.
Yeah, so? No.
So what? We got swept, and you about to take advantage of that.
Hey, there is a famous song.
No, okay.
There's a famous song that was.
You said it's a famous what?
There's a famous song that was brought out back in the early '90s, and it simply said, "It ain't our fault."
It's not. And you know, that's the P just came out with a little chronicle on BET a few weeks ago. So.
Right. I mean, but I feel like that song just don't test the time. You know what I mean? There's no reason an NBA team should be going to the NBA playoffs and getting swept. You feel me? I just feel that way. You can't win one. AI won one. You feel me? Sure, he was out there with Matt Geiger and them. You know what I mean? So
right.
That guy all about him. Wow.
Yeah.
Matt Geiger, Aaron McKee, Eric Snow. Yeah,
Tyler Cullen. Oh my God.
Right. Hey.
Bringing back terrible memories from me.
No. We just want to make a Philly fan feel better.
Oh, I appreciate that. But yeah,
again, you guys have an NBA team. We got to cheer for other teams because we don't have that option. So.
Yeah, I mean, but do y'all show love to like Chicago and Milwaukee at all or no?
For NBA?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm biased because when I started watching. Biased with it, and I don't care for Milwaukee. I was talking about them on the show yesterday. Milwaukee, they're another team almost similar with Philly's situation. I mean, they're going far in the playoffs, but they keep coming up short, and they have an all-star, defensive player of the year, and still can't get it together. Even if he was not injured, I don't think they would have beaten them though. It's not looking good for Milwaukee either.
Yeah, once you figure out the game plan, you got one player that's just dominant like that. Let him do it. Stop everybody else. Mm-hmm. He can't score 110 points on his own. You know,
that's true.
And that's the mentality you got to come in with. That's why the Spurs beat LeBron. You know what I mean? Like that. That's just why. You know what I mean? LeBron was on Cleveland by himself. Right. You know what I mean? At that time, my man got up out of there. Got up out the paint real quick. So it's just you stop one player. Stop all four people. Stop those outlet passes. Stop those kickouts. Stop the driving kick game. You win. Simple fundamentals. Defense. That's what it's all about. Defense.
Do you feel as a whole that it's just a lot of bad luck with the team because of injuries? You look at Ben Simmons, who had the knee issue during the first round, and then he was gone. And so it pretty much forced MB to try to do even more, which was a toll. Do you think it's more so of a bad luck situation, or is it just a culture issue with the 76ers not getting over that hump?
I believe it's more than both. I think, in all honesty, this is what the Sixers organization kind of signs up for. If you've noticed, there's been a recurring pattern. They draft a point guard. This point guard has the potential to be rookie of the year, and every single time he gets injured. Every single time this rookie gets injured, this point guard, the person that's supposed to run the team and run the offense for the last decade, Every single one of them has gotten injured and shipped out. Drew Holiday, injured, shipped out. Michael Carter Williams, injured, shipped out. Markelle Fultz, injured, shipped out. And now we have Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, they signed him on as the point guard because he had ball handle. He doesn't have a jump shot. Every guard that you didn't want to take a chance on didn't have a jump shot. You let Drew Holiday go, the only guard that was really promising because of a nice little injury, and you still ship him out while every other guard you keep drafting can't shoot the ball. If you can't create offense, you're going to have people standing at the foul line when you're at the 3-point. Because you can only do one thing. You can only drive and kick. You know what I mean? That's why LeBron James had to develop a better jump shot, show people that he could shoot and do more. Because if you just collapse the paint, and you can just leak out to the shooters every time, you can't win against that. So it's just a reoccurring thing. Injuries, you know what I mean? They keep drafting injured players every time.
You bring up a good point as far as the guards for the drafting from real guards. Because of today's NBA, the point guard just not only the general on the floor leading the plays and dishing it out, you have to shoot now. That old school point guard is kind of going by the wayside, so you got to have both. Run the floor and be able to shoot. Nothing else, shoot threes, but you got to be able to produce both to be productive.
Right, you got to be able to hit a midi off a screen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if that big is screening and rolling and the guard can't choose or the big can't choose, you still have to be able to shoot a midi. These guys can't even shoot middies, you know what I mean? And granted, don't get me wrong, all of these NBA players are great NBA players. They got hounded by suffering injuries, you know what I mean? But I feel like the organization of Philly, they wanted to try to get an Allen Iverson so bad that they've made the biggest mistakes, because don't get it effed up. In the last decade, they've had promising players come into the NBA draft, and they've had chances to get those players. But within trying to find guards, they've also been trying to look for bigs, and they've been losing on that. And we have to remember, Embiid and Simmons both came in injured from the rip. You know what I mean? Both of these guys was injured. Embiid on restricted minutes. Simmons not playing for a year. It's just bad luck.
I'm not going to give you a headache, but I can see a silver lining. Once this Clippers series wrapped up, I believe Tyronn Lue will actually be a good head coach to handle those two, specifically with Tyronn being a guard. And y'all get one more piece. Not have to be an all-star, but somebody that's a little more experienced and that can hold them accountable and get Simmons and Embiid and weight shape and all that, and y'all be good to go, I promise.
Yeah, I heard Chris Paul is being shopped around right now. I heard that he's listening to all. When
I tell you he'll get them together so fast, and you know CP3 don't play, I don't care if you have a ring.
Get my belt. we need some type of veteran leadership over there for sure.
He would whip them into shape so bad, and he would, as Embiid is so big and CP3 would be short to him, he would get all up in his face. He does not care. He won't back down to anybody. That's why I love CP3.
Yeah, that's true.
So
right
now,
only time will tell. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. Time will tell. I feel like what happens is, most organizations that keep people internal, I think Philly is one of the organizations that really try to have players on payroll and try to do more, because they say players know the most, you know what I mean? They can see potential, they can see, draft stock and stuff like that. But essentially, it's just not working right now. You know what I mean? It's like the dude, Sam Hinkie, came in and blew up everything. And then, and then it turned into trust the process. Like, and him saying this dude came in and blew up everything. You know what I mean?
Y'all were tanking for years, but they did get some good draft picks, and that part panned out. You can't say it didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
tanking for 3 years, y'all lived up to what tanking does. It worked.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can say he did good, right?
Yeah, that's it. He blew up the whole team, and now you got Drew Holiday over there going crazy. But I mean, I would have loved to keep Drew, if not anybody else. You know what I mean? Because Drew was really one of those combo guards where he could score, he could pass, and he had great size. It's not too many times that you find a guard with great size that can do both. You know what I mean? Like, when you think about Westbrook is explosive, athletic. He can shoot a good mid-range, but he really can't do it all unless it's set up for him himself. Drew Holiday, he slows everything down. You know what I mean? He can pick out the defense. He can pick them apart. Westbrook, to me, I feel like he's so good because he can just blow by people.
Right.
You know what I mean? If that screen come, if nobody's hedging that screen, it's over. He going to the rack. You know what I mean? But Drew Holiday would slip the screen, kick it back out. And, you know, most of the time defenses would collapse. So if you hit the screen, then pop back out to the three, they're like, dang, I thought he was going to drive. Dude in the corner open. And Drew Holiday would be able to hit that pass. So it's like, you know what I mean? I love pass first guards, but I love guards who have the ability to score and pass in certain situations. And Drew Holiday, he was the best one that could do that for us. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is.
And they
But I'm happy that he got his ring, though. I am happy about that. Yeah, you know.
And they went on and let him go. That has to be so Philadelphia for you right now.
Yeah, man. It is,
and y'all Philly fans ain't no joke. No matter what sport it is, boy, y'all come at y'all own players hard. Like,
I think honestly, it's more so definitely people that live in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I'm from Chester, so I didn't really get that whole, like, you know what I mean, being all up in people's faces, they taking L's, booing them all in the arena and all that. Like, I'm not into that. You know what I mean? If I'm going to the ring, I'm cheering people on. You know what I mean? I'm making sure that they hear that one lonely guy and they say, "You can do it." You know, that one guy.
Right.
But you know, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, they about to lose by 30. You know what I mean? So that's how I think about it for sure.
Real quick, we have some comments here. Shouts out to 3MG Gaming. Said the lag hit different, so we apologize if y'all getting a little bit of a lag issue. Could be something going on with the Zoom, so we do apologize. We do the best that we can to get everything nice and smooth and flowing for you. It is say, how's everyone doing? We are doing great on a Thursday. We got basketball, got football, we got baseball going on. We got every hockey going on, I believe. It's a crazy night, and you also have the platform Sports Talk Show with our special guest, IpodKingCarter.
Yes, sir.
No, legendary.
It is.
Oh, here she go. Here she go.
I ain't gonna let you let this one down. I'll get that to you, and you gonna take that with you. All right, legendary.
All right. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best. Put in my little knapsack real quick. You know what I'm saying? Put my crossbody on real quick. Walk on.
RC says Chester for life.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
T-City.
So, is Chester considered a suburb of Philly? Or is
Nah,
it's
it's his home city, so it's like probably 15 minutes away from Philly on I-95. So, like, basically, it's like Philadelphia is the big, huge city, and it's surrounded by a bunch of different boroughs and counties. But Chester is that one little lonely city that's in between it and Delaware. So that's how it goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, we next to like Media, Villanova. Not Temple. What is it called? King of Prussia. Like all the other different hot spots that people go to. We close to all that stuff too. So like you can either live in Chester and go that way, or you can live in Philly and come down. You know what I mean? Most people, when they be like, "Yo, we going up to Philly," it's because Philly is literally going north. You know what I mean? So like that's why people be like, "Yo, I'm going down to Chester." You know what I'm saying? Because you basically got to get to Chester to go to Delaware. Yeah. So you know, yeah, people that shop in Delaware, because you know Delaware ain't got no taxes, so you know.
For real?
Yes, sir.
I may have to move out to Delaware now.
Right, I'm like, wait a minute.
But the property tax high though. So
It's
That's how they make it up, though.
always
that's how they make it up. The property tax is bad. So like, you know, if we got to go to the state stores and all that, people want to get liquor and all that. That's how you do it. Like you be in Philly, take a little 35-minute drive on the highway. Get whatever you need. Like people order stuff from Best Buy and drive down to Best Buy in Delaware to go pick it up. But you don't got to pay no taxes. You know, like you buying a PlayStation 5, them taxes hit different. You just drive to Delaware, order it, go pick it up in Delaware.
Taxes hit different.
My goodness.
It's super different.
So
super different.
let's talk about, before we continue to more NBA talk, we'll say that for later on. One of the main reasons why I have you on the show, man, why I want to book you, you're pretty much living like the American dream. I know you said that you work at the airport and everything.
Right.
Like for instance, I have a close friend of mine. He is an artist. He plays in a band. Him and a lady friend of his, and they don't really have like a set home. Well, I guess right now they do because of COVID. But before the pandemic was going on, they really didn't have like a home, because they were always on the road, on the go, doing their thing, doing their passion.
Right.
You know, having trips going to the West Coast, to the East Coast, Midwest, even overseas, not having a job, like an actual 9 to 5 in a long time. In your case, as you said, you are working, but you're getting the really big thing with playing video games. When did you start taking it very serious in regards to, you know what, I love the game, but now I want to share what I do to the world?
I believe that came out during, I believe my son was about 2 years old. This is back in like 2010, 2011. And what I realized was that people were enjoying the videos. They were saying, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you add your voice to the footage? And of course, back then we had the cell phones. We holding our cell phone up to the screen, catching any highlight we can catch. And I just kept getting a little bit more advice. Hey, why don't you get this recording device that will allow you to record and you can put that phone down? Why don't you get this microphone? The microphone sounds pretty good. Why don't you get this editing software? Hey, why don't you get this camera? We would love to see you on video. And over the years, it just was that. Anything that I earned from any of my revenue sources, I put back into my setup. I put that money back into making sure that their experience is the best experience and to make sure that what I'm pushing out is the highest quality. So I got the highest internet package. I got all the cameras, all the lights, all the devices, everything, stuff like that, to make sure that the production is 100% every single time. If this camera that I'm talking to you in broke right now, another one is on the way, or I would literally walk out and be like, yo, I gotta get this camera. I gotta go to Best Buy before they close, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So that's what it is for me. Always give back, because people give so much. You know what I mean? The era that we're living in right now, you have to understand, 10 years ago, I was making or earning money from these videos, which was lunchable money, you know what I mean? I might be able to buy a sandwich, stuff like that. I was earning this money from people's eyes and eyes only, because essentially they were paying with their views. Every single view counts. Every 1,000 views, people used to make $2 every 1,000. And some people make $5 every 1,000. Now we have fluctuating CPM, which is a whole nother conversation. So essentially everything came from just people watching, and that's what we needed them to do. The era that we live in now, everybody wants to be a streamer because streaming's easy. You don't have to edit. You don't have to put out content. So when you stream, people donate, people subscribe, people support, people become members, they really show the love and the gratitude for the person that's busting their ass behind this camera, you know what I mean? So I always tell myself, like, yo, no matter what I do, I got to give back to them and let them know that, you know what I'm saying, I'm theirs for that 4 to 8 hours that I may be streaming, you know what I mean? My attention is undivided, you feel me? That's how I feel about it.
How valuable was your time in high school and in college to get you to the point of you having so much knowledge with technology?
Actually, I kind of guess I can say that once I learn something, I remember it forever. I don't think I have a photographic memory, but it's more so once you learn something, I'm on a bike at all times. I never forget it, you know? So when it came to learning tech and stuff like that, like I said, I was always in the tech. That's why my name is iPod. I was one of the first people with it. I was figuring out how to load my iPod up without nobody's help. I was charging people for loading up their iPod. I was always a hustler, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, tech is just what I'm into. So if a new video editing software comes out, if it's better than Final Cut, I'll give it a try. I'll see if I can learn it. No problem. It might take me a day, but after that day, if I don't like what it provides, I don't use it no more. I'll go right back to Final Cut because that's my favorite editing software. So like some people say, oh, well, you know, you can use this or you can use that. You can use this because it's free. No, I need the best because I need to make sure that my production output is like this. You know what I mean? Like my schedule daily is I wake up 6 o'clock, get the kids ready for school. Once they're in school, I should have a video already recorded the night before, edit that, send a couple images over to my thumbnail maker, have them make the thumbnail, upload the video, then stream later that day. And within them like few hours and stuff, I'll probably be spending some time with my wife. When the kids get off school, do some homework, chill with them, and then get right to it. You know what I mean? So like my daily schedule is kind of like the same thing. It's just like a revolving cycle every day. and then I get a couple days off.
That was one
And
of
you
my,
make that time to go hop on an airplane and fly somewhere.
Bro, not right now. I haven't flown anywhere since COVID.
Pre-pandemic, let me specify that.
So pre-pandemic, it was more so whenever we had time to travel. If the kids, like, say for instance, they got out of school on a Friday, we would go to Vegas, come back Sunday night. When summertime hit, we would go to Tokyo, Europe, stuff like that, just flying out the country, just trying different things and stuff like that. So those experiences were really dope. You know what I mean? Because as our kids get bigger, we didn't want to take our kids anywhere when they were smaller because they wouldn't essentially remember it. You know what I mean? So like right now, my daughter is 7, so we've been traveling to like really crazy amusement parks and stuff like that. And it's dope because when I was growing up, I went to the smaller joints. You know what I mean? I went to a little Clementon Park, a little Hershey Park, a little Busch Gardens in VA and all that. It was cool, but I ain't never been to the Six Flags, ain't been to Water Kingdom, you know what I mean? Like Universal Studios, all that stuff. So getting to do that now is dope, but as a parent, them 45-minute waits are crazy. Like I can't do
Hey,
it.
Disney World added 2 hours to that 45-minute wait. Okay? And I did that I learned my lesson, let me just say that. And we found a way around it. That's when they started adding that flash pass and all that. But the first time I went, they didn't have it.
Oh, okay.
Half of your day, no, 3/4 of your day is spent in lines at Disney World. It's crazy. They've changed a little bit, but I feel you on that. You ain't got that much time to waste. He's spending all that money for that. Oh, no, no, no.
Yeah, that's why some people get them 3-day passes, you know what I mean? You know, you might ride maybe 6 rides in one day, but it's really 30 rides. So, you know, you got to just keep going every day. Feet hurting, blistering, don't matter. You got to go.
Keep it going.
You pay for that package.
As long as your kids are happy, they've had a great time, that's the best memory you want for them to enjoy themselves as well.
Mm-hmm. You need them brownie points. You know what I mean? You got to be the best parent in the world.
Exactly. Because they will remember that when they get old, like, man, my dad took me here. I did this. I did that. And I'm glad that you brought it up earlier. And I saw a post earlier or a comment from RC saying sports is back. He agreed with what I was saying earlier. But you pretty much answered the question earlier just about how you balance from playing video games, how you pass along information to the people who do your thumbnail, to being a husband, to being a father. Are there times you like, man, let me put this game down for a while, just chill, or are you always on that grind playing video games?
I think essentially, once I became like a full-time creator, because like most of the time people say that they're full-time, but they're not really full-time because they don't make the time to do it all. So like I always tell people that want to start in a game, right, you have to be willing to have 20-hour days. You know what I mean? Because when you're an entrepreneur, essentially your day don't stop until you hit that bed. You know what I mean? For whatever time that you want to be sleep, you can't do 8 in and 8 and you off the clock. It don't work like that. So like I said, when I wake up in the morning, I got 2 hours to get my children ready for school. At 8 a.m., if my wife want to do anything, we want to do whatever. If we got some shows we might have missed on that before, we watching that new Power that just came out. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
I still haven't seen this yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are
So
missing out.
like when my actually like my work day starts at 10 a.m. I go downstairs, start putting footage together and all that, figure everything out. Then I do all that. By the time like 1 o'clock come, it's about 2 hours before my kids about to get out of school. So that's like my little 2-hour window. I go upstairs, see what the wife trying to do. If we trying to watch another movie, we just trying to lay around, talk about finances, bills, life, love. We do that, then go get my kids. You know what I mean? So I always try to make sure that I carve out time to communicate with my wife, because that's the most important thing to make sure that the household is running. You know what I mean? You have to communicate with your wife. You know what I'm saying? Or husband if you're a female. You know, you just have to, like, you got to communicate, because communication, if it lapses or breaks, the whole thing is going to go down in shambles. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to communicate at all times.
The same way with a video game. You know, when you're creating a video game, you have to communicate with certain guys who are doing this, doing that, doing this, because when you go gold, I know that was the big word back in the day. You know, this game went gold. You know, you don't want to have all that, you know, pushback from people when the game come out, even though it still happens to this day. Because I know it's crazy. I've heard a lot of complaints about Madden. I've heard, you know, the complaints about NBA 2K. But
yeah. So sour. It's a sour thing to hear because Madden got rated the worst out of any video game I think of all time recently, like any AAA title.
Wow.
So when these companies start becoming stagnant and they're not reaching out to the community in a way where they're actually listening, it's not that they're not listening. It's the fact of the matter that their budgets just never grow. And I've really been in rooms with devs that literally tell me straight to my face, like, yo, they said we can't do it. The boardroom, we were there 15 minutes ago in the boardroom. They said that they can't do this, they can't do that. You have to choose on what mode you want. What do you want it offline? Do you want it online? Like, this is what devs have to go through. I know they're pissed just as well as consumers, but we always, like, the way it is now with social media, we like to blame people. You know what I mean? Like at first, when NBA Live started tanking to NBA 2K, like back in like 2006, everybody blamed EA Sports. You know what I mean? But now it's a point where we're blaming real people, and I think that that's kind of messed up because just think about it. I work at the airport, right? I would be distraught if somebody tweeted me and said, "Well, the reason why my bag missed my flight is because of IpodKingCarter." Like, what?
Right.
Like, how are you blaming just one man or woman because of something that's wrong with the game? You know what I mean? You have to blame the whole operation.
That's the concept, as you said. So when you say tech dev, dev operational engineers. So backtrack. Just to let you know, no one's ever told you. I was a communications major, and you could be a very good professor as far as breaking down the communication, what you need, editing, and all the moving parts. You could definitely be a professor to teach that. And nothing else, if you volunteer or work with younger people, let them know this information. I know there's a program someone is trying to get started, especially at HBCUs, because of gaming is such a big and multi-billion-dollar platform. As far as African Americans and not getting the access to, if not be a developing or software engineer for the games, or be able to market it, if nothing else, give us a way to get into there. Because if you're talking about going behind the boardroom and people saying, no, upper management or the powers that be say, no, you can't do this. Right. Regular person that's just playing the game and all into it doesn't understand that. And you talk about people putting a name to it, calling somebody out. It got personal. Social media does allow that, unfortunately, but it also exposes people. Like, you realize, just like how artists, when they're on music labels, they think they could just sing and write the music however they want to, and then you have the VPs and the A&R person like, no, you got to do it this way. And people don't realize, like, I just can't be me. I just can't play the game how I want. No, the people with the money still get the final say. And sometimes I don't believe that they're trying to hear, even if you're talking about a budget, they can expand the budget. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. However, I know a lot of the companies are traded, publicly traded companies. So, of course, you got to listen to your shareholders. They make some noise, and people going to make some moves, whether the consumer likes it or not, because it's all about money, you know that. But
that's real.
Man, that's important, though.
Yeah, it's real. It happens every single day. You know what I mean? People don't even know that. Like, I had a guy, he wrote me a long email telling me all the problems that was wrong with the video game. I said, listen, I responded, said, listen, bro, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, all of this is great information, but as of right now, I know that these are the things that the dev team knows, and if they're not willing to fix it within the game, then it's not gonna get addressed. But what I will do is, I will send this list to a dev just to see what type of response I get back. I do that all the time. You know what I mean? Like I have one-on-one access with some of these people that work at these companies because of how long I've been in the game testing and everything like that. So I do reach out to people and say, yo, like, hey, this needs to be fixed immediately. You know what I mean? They'll say, all right, well, that might be able to get addressed in the next 4 patches. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. Like, I think last year's game for NBA 2K had 11 or 12 patches.
Right.
So that's insane. You know what I mean? But just imagine back in the day, we used to get video games and that was it. You had to deal with the way the game played. You know what I mean? So
that's it. Here you go. That's it. They weren't doing beta testing and anything else after that. Just like here.
Yeah, that's right.
So you brought up earlier, iPod, how you said, for example, if your camera wasn't working, oh, I'm going to the store. I'm about to get this. If this wasn't working, I'm going here. How many times did you go to Delaware to get stuff?
Oh, every time, every single time. If I don't order it off Amazon, I'm driving to Delaware to get it most likely. The crazy thing is, most of my parts that I'm looking at right now, most of these parts are floating on Amazon. There's only a few things I can go to Best Buy for right now, like maybe my monitors. I can go Stream Deck, maybe my keyboard and mouse, but mostly everything else. And controllers, hella controllers. Like always break a controller like every month. So yeah, it ain't from rage. It's from playing it during a game. Like
Really?
yeah, cause like playing shooters and 2K, you gotta move the analog sticks like crazy. So
Right.
you know you create drift in them and all that. So I got like all these controllers just laying around that don't work.
And you use Xbox or PS4? Does it preference or use both?
I use Xbox controller on PC when I'm gaming. What's up, son? You okay? Okay. And I
Hey,
use
check- oh,
PlayStation
sorry.
4. I play console on PlayStation 4. I don't play Xbox anymore.
Mm.
Okay, I have people in the house here that are Xbox fans, and they dogged out PS3, 4, and I guess 5 coming out. They like the graphics and stuff better on Xbox, is what they tell me. I don't game, I just watch them, but I don't know if there's a difference. I don't know if they're paying you, don't comment.
No. So basically, when you play games like 2K on Xbox, I can say that people do notice a more smooth experience, and I'm not sure if that's a PlayStation thing or if that's because essentially a video game is supposed to play the same way on both platforms. So I think it may be a hardware thing that a lot of people like it on Xbox a little bit more, but it's just more people have PlayStation. You know what I mean? More people have that, so it's more games you can get and stuff like that. So like, if I'm at the park on Xbox, I might play the same team like 7 times straight. Whereas though if I'm on PlayStation, it'll be a flood of people at my park because there's so many users on that platform. You know, that's usually the trade off. It's like, oh, do you want better graphics that you barely gonna really notice? Because in an online setting is much different than being immersed in a play now situation. You know what I mean? Or do you want to stay on the dots for the next 30 minutes waiting on the game when I'm on PlayStation getting the game every 5 minutes, you know? So that's how it is.
So, as you was building yourself in regards to being a video game content creator, going through the process, were there certain people that you would reach out to that would tell you, yeah, get this, see about that, get that, or was everything pretty much you doing a crash course and learning from yourself and then just advancing?
Back in the day, it was definitely learning for ourselves. So I'm a part of a group of YouTubers that we've kind of been stuck together for years, you know what I mean? And we had to learn all these things on our own. We had to learn about SEO. We had to learn about tags. We had to learn about descriptions, titles, graphics, equipment. We had to learn all of that on our own. And essentially, we let that trickle down to the new people coming in because we're so advanced in our tech now. And I feel like the people that I reached out to back in the day, I used to reach out to some big content creators in the hopes that they would reach out back. And some people did, you know what I mean? Some people had the decency to say, oh, no, you need to render an MP4 or you need to use this editing program because, of course, when you're starting out, you need all the answers. So, you know what I mean? Ever since then, when I saw the big YouTubers answer back to me, whenever somebody comes and asks me something, I got the answers for them. You know what I mean? So I let that reciprocate. You feel me?
I do want to provide an update for all the sports heads out there, because of course this is a sports talk show. The Lakers are up 76-59 in the third quarter over Houston. So it looks like LA is trying to take the soul out of Houston and end this series, even though it's only game 4. But
Because I thought they were going to game 6. I thought Lakers were going to get it at 6. That's what I'm thinking.
That's a GG. 76-59.
It's a
I
wrap.
need a miracle.
Yeah. I mean, now Houston does have the squad that can score 20 point, get a 20-0 run going, but I think LA is playing too hungry right now to allow that to happen.
Their defense stepped up today too. Rondo has made the biggest difference for this series.
Yeah.
Like besides the obvious of LeBron and AD, but you can tell when he's on that floor, everything changes.
And
Yeah,
then
it's better for him to handle that ball.
Yeah. And kind of like what you were saying about Drew Holiday, having someone that can be a floor leader, be another extension of the coach, getting everybody together, calming everybody down, saying, hey, Ben, stop doing this and go to the hole, or Joel, stop doing this and, attack the rim. So like you said earlier, iPod, you got to have the right mixture of youth, but then having that veteran leadership, someone who's been there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about I've been here before,
Yeah.
and I won.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the mentality. I've been
Put
here
that in there,
before.
and I won.
And I won.
Yeah,
Don't forget that.
yeah. Because that's what some people get so lost in social media. You know what I mean? Like, and that's for everything. You know what I mean? You start getting a couple followers, you start thinking you popping. Like, bro, you sitting on the bench. You know what I mean? Like, you know you bench running, right? You know you only average 7 minutes a game, right?
Like you smell yourself a little too much. Hold on. Quit smelling yourself, man. Hold on.
Yeah, go to practice. You know what I'm saying? Stop posing on IG all day. You know
Right, go to practice, and when practice is over, with still be in that gym working on something. Shoot.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, I feel like they like this dude. It's a new age thing. You know what I mean? Like honestly, to be real, I'm really not into social media like that. Like, I'm a very, very private person. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it takes my wife to be like, yeah, you can post it. Go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, she got to give me a go ahead. Like, because I'd be like, man, I really don't want to post none of this. You know what I mean? And she'd be like, babe, like, you're having fun. Go ahead, post what you want to post. You know what I mean? Because, so many people, they want to get into your real life. You know what I mean? And
right.
It's always been those things. Like, I think I posted a Christmas photo one time. And dude was like, man, where the video at? I'm like, I can't enjoy Christmas.
You're not human. Right. You're only zoomed in for video. That's it.
Yeah, like, you want me to have a camera out the entire time during Christmas when my kids are smiling and having fun, and be recording the whole time, looking at them through a screen. I can't enjoy that.
Have a 5 minutes later.
Yeah, like, man, can't do it. I gotta enjoy these times. You know what I mean? These kids only grow up once. You feel me? So I can't do that. And plus, I'm not a turn up guy either. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't pop none. I don't do none of that. So you're not gonna really get me to be lit. You know what I mean? So I'm not on IG Live and doing stories, all yelling and tripping and all that. And I don't do all that.
And then how could you, in regards to drinking, smoking, doing all this partying, when you're busy trying to focus on video games? You won't be the same kind of player if you not coherent.
I mean, some people are pretty good, you know what I mean? Like, how, whatever the case may be, but for me, it's more of it's just a life choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I grew up watching people on stuff, you know what I mean, getting high, being drunk. Like, I just told myself, that's just not what I want. You know what I'm saying? Nobody will ever pressure me into doing what I don't want to do because I'm my own man. So that just was instilled in me from a young age, you know what I mean? You're your own self. And you can't, and nobody can tell you how to be you, you know. So that's just how that go.
For the football fans out there, the Texans are up 7-0 against the Chiefs, and they do have fans in the stands. Not every seat is filled. It's like 25% capacity, so you see a lot of red seats and yellow seats up top. But there are fans at the game, so that may be a start for other teams to follow. And for other games, I know like the Rams were saying, I think the Rams and Chargers have agreed not having any fans at all season, but maybe after seeing a few games, they may change their mind. We shall see. But once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Normally we are on every Wednesday night, but we're doing a special edition. As you see Bunny talking to somebody on her end, she getting at it, having a good conversation.
Crazy.
Oh man, I love it. But it's live TV. It's what it is, y'all. But once again, we have IpodKingCarter on the show. Once again, it's a pleasure having you on, man. Let's continue on.
Thank you for having me.
Most definitely, man. Thank you. So let's continue on. What moment, as a video content creator, did you say, you know what, I finally arrived?
I think it would probably have to be around NBA 2K14 and 15 era. That's when I felt like I was really at the top of my game. I was creating a lot of content, and I was really getting into like just being a news person and making content around all video games at one point. You know what I mean? I was making content around football, basketball, first-person shooters. I was just trying a little bit of everything, and I was dabbling into story games as well, because what people don't understand is I'm not just a sports gamer. I play anything I like, anything that my friends want to try out, I'll play it. I have no problem trying out a video game because in a sense, I play video games, not just one series. You know what I mean? So it was around like 2014, 2015 time. Yeah, sure.
What was the very first console that you owned?
First Nintendo. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Nintendo.
I was a heavy Metroid player. I didn't really never really get into Mario like that. Like I played it, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't my ish. You know what I mean? Like I was playing Metroid, going crazy. You know what I'm saying? That was my game. Then I got the Bird 1-on-1 with Jordan joint. What else I had? I think I had it was a shootout game. It was another basketball game. Then Sega and all that started coming out. I started getting into NBA Jam and all that.
Man,
I tried Sonic and all that. I ain't really like. I don't know, man. It's like all those like platform type games and level games and all that. Like I just never really was like,
same
oh, I
here.
love these. No, it was sports. Like
Same here.
I was
man.
rocking with sports games and then shooters. Like you know what I mean, Splinter Cell. You know what I'm saying? I was going crazy on that. Like yeah, it was definitely like sports and FPS shooters. And then I started getting into story mode games and stuff later. Yeah.
Bunny, how about yourself? Are you a video game person, or were you as a little kid?
Of course not. So I'm typical little young girl playing double dutch in the streets, playing tag, this and that. Because think about it, I'm an '80s baby, and that's what we did. When you talking about Mario and all that stuff started coming out, no. And my parents did not invest in video games with us. Now as I got older, as an adult, fast forward, I still not into video games, but I actually will sit and watch. So if y'all would play 2K or Madden, I'll sit and watch it like it's an actual live game. Like, that entertains me. I don't want to pick up the controllers. I don't want to do any of that. I've tried it. Horrible. But I will sit there and be entertained watching it. Or when people like to play Black Ops and Rainbow Six and all that, I'm like, oh, okay. It's almost like a mini movie sometimes, so I'm entertained, but actually not playing it, no.
I got a question for you, Bunny. How many fender benders or car accidents have you ever been in?
Uh-oh.
This is a general question.
Where you going with the question?
Be truthful. Just be truthful.
Just answer the
Okay.
question.
I have been in 2, and I've been at fault for both.
Okay. All right. So, like, some people say that people that play video games at high frame rates and stuff like that, especially like shooter games, they are very good with their reaction time. So, the reaction speed of a person that's driving and stuff like that, they say that video game players are very good drivers as well. It's a pretty weird statistic, but yeah, I would say it is. Yeah.
Do you
I
feel,
haven't been in no accidents.
do you feel the same way about people who play sports games? How like their knowledge of, like let's say for Madden games or NBA 2K running certain plays, that their knowledge just overall in sports is better because of playing video games?
I believe that it gives them a higher sense of what works. So, like, if you're watching in real life sports and you want to implement that play, like, say, for instance, you want to be Tom Brady, you want to drop back 5 steps and just throw the ball and know that that ball is going to get to the person you're throwing it to because of the way a defense is set up and stuff like that. That's a whole nother level. You know what I mean? That's why people get into competitive gaming and, have Madden tournaments, NBA 2K leagues, because essentially these players have like their frontal lobe is just insane with all the information that it can process within a short period of time. You know what I mean? So like if I'm playing 2K and I'm running like a screen and roll, right? And I notice that the player is playing under the screen. As soon as I get the screen, I'm a quick stop and shoot the ball. You know what I mean? Because I see that my defender is under the screen. That's just normal basketball. But when you get into the deeper plays of like standing at a spot, having to rotate, taking the screen, oh, the back door is open. How'd that get open? Because the play developed. See, in Madden, it's more so a one-to-one. So in Madden, you come to the line and you see, okay, the corner, he up pretty far. He don't know he about to get burnt because you running a quick slant.
Exactly.
And if you trying to bump the player, you ain't gonna be able to do that. Quick slant, quick pass every time. If the player's playing off, now that player has time to run towards the offensive player, maybe catch a pick six or something like that. So it's just the way that players pick their plays and the way that the defense and all that plays out. But you do have to have a high knowledge of plays, and you actually can tell when watching real football, like, yo, he about to go to the house. You know what I mean? You just sit there and be like, he ain't about to score. And then you go to the house and you're like, yo, how you know? You can just tell. You can just tell from the defense. You know what I mean? Because they play Madden so much. You know what I mean? So it's just doing sports. That's all.
So then, for you to be a creator of this or help with the content, you have to have some basic knowledge or some in-depth knowledge. For some of the engineers, I've been told, my nephew's an engineering major, and some of the classmates are not into sports. But if they were to work for EA Sports as an engineer and developing this, and they don't have an idea, who helps them or who helps them to create this?
Different people from the team as well as game testers. So say for instance, these guys don't know nothing about sports, right? And let's take UFC for instance. Great sport, hell of fighters every single day, but engineers might not know how many seconds it takes a punch to connect after throwing it, and then that arm returning back to their actual position to block. So what happens is, if you ever see UFC, people, like when games first started coming out, they was just throwing like this. They just kept going like this. You just keep going like this all day long. But essentially, over the years, the videos got to a point where when a person throws a jab, they're throwing their hip, they're turning their body. You know what I mean? So when they throw that jab, it has to fully extend and then come back to a placement. So when they're throwing crosses, now their hips are turning. They're throwing crosses. So essentially, as player movement gets better, engineers now have timetables that say, okay, if a person is crossing over, right, and he goes in between his legs and his player movement does all his hip action, it should take like a 3-second animation to do a between the leg crossover. So essentially, you have to now know those times. So now if you do a between leg crossover, you know what you got to combo next. Okay, after I do a between leg crossover, and I got a combo behind the back. You know what I mean? That combo behind the back might get the player sleep because he's seen cross between leg crossover, so he thinks you're going right, but you don't already put the next combo in, and now you going left. So like that's just the things that you got to learn while playing the game. That's all.
Nice.
Just simple game stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Look, can I just be better at doing it live than on the game? I mean, I could try to do.
Nah. We need you out at the park going crazy.
Gotta go crazy with it. Once again, it's the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, along with. See where she at? Her computer froze. Oh, there she go. We're with Bunny.
Yeah, Pete.
And we have special guest David IpodKingCarter.
Yes, sir.
Getting it in. So, one of the coolest things that I've seen on your video was, and I'm pretty sure this happens often, is that you have, I guess, video devs. They will actually fly you out to a certain spot to check out their games, etc. How did that feel when you have EA Sports reaching out to you, or 2K? I know you have a relationship with Ronnie 2K, and they reaching out to you and say, hey, we want your expertise, we want your opinion on this product that they got coming out.
First off, it's humbling because I play video games. You know what I mean? That's like my main stitch. So when I say it's humbling, it's more so we never thought that we could get to a point where a dev will reach out to you, or a marketing team or a PR team will reach out to a creator and say, hey, we need your help to make our game better. That's awesome. You know what I mean? That's one of the best things that I've ever seen, you know? So when those type of things happen, it's all blessings, but at the same time, when I get there, it's business. As soon as I land, as soon as I get in that office, that game room, get the controller in my hand, I start labbing. I say, yo, this is broken. This needs fixing. I start writing stuff on my notepad. I be recording the clips while I'm playing, and then I just write everything down, timestamp it. You know what I mean? Oh, I just did a hesitation cross, and that shouldn't have happened. Or if I'm playing with UFC, I just did a high leg kick, and when I did the high leg kick, the low kick that was thrown at my offset leg did not clip me, which I believe it should. You know what I mean? If a fighter is throwing a low kick when you're throwing your high kick, you should be getting clipped from that because he should be aiming at that leg that's still on the ground. You feel me? So if it takes quicker time to throw a leg kick than a person to throw a switch kick, then that person should get clipped. You know what I mean? So it's like little minuscule things that I say is broken, and then they'll see if they can fix it. You know what I mean? So like they'll be hot fixing things like immediately. So like if I say something's broken, 30 minutes later, a new build is coming out with the hot fix. So like that's what developers do. They hot fix and continuously hot fix and just make sure that the things that they're fixing isn't breaking something else. You know what I mean? That's usually how it goes.
And this is something that I've brought up even at my job, especially was there in person. That like with your field, it's very important to have those people who aren't just yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, people. You got to have people there who are going to just keep it 100 with you, because
right.
You know what I'm saying, because that's where you build that trust. I'm sure that when they saw your work, they know that you're, like you said before, you've been in the game for so long, so you're serious about your craft and you want to see, games can be perfected all the time, but you expect perfection. So
right.
How important is it as a developer, or in your case, someone who watches games, play games, etc., is it to be 100 with these devs before the game goes gold?
It is the most important thing that I pride myself on. So, creating content is fun, it's great, but essentially anything that I say to a developer, a marketing manager, PR team, the president of the company, whomever I'm talking to, I'm here to make your product better, and essentially you'll sell more copies. I'll be happy with a product, all my consumer friends will be happy with a product, but I don't need any recognition. You know what I mean? I don't need them to tweet out, "Oh my God, IpodKingCarter saved the game." Like, I don't need that. I just need you to make a great product so everyone can be happy, because sometimes I get tired of people reaching out to me like, "Yo, man, these dudes ain't listening. I need you to tell them." And I just get those ads all day long. You know what I mean? "Oh, my ankle breakers ain't in the game. iPod, tell them it's broke." I get that all day. So, that's usually how it go.
Yeah, I just truly feel that it's very important to be yourself, and no matter what situation you're in, don't be intimidated because you're around certain people. It's a reason why you're in a certain position. So you definitely want to, speak your mind respectively, but definitely speak your mind, and bring that passion. And I can tell through all your video that you do, whether it's the vlogs, your live streams. Like last week, I saw. Now it took me maybe a couple of days, but I did see all 9 hours of your NBA 2K video that you had on last week. I had it on throughout the whole time at work, and just seeing you talking to people, and it was just very cool to me just to see someone who has a passion for what they do and being able to share it to the world. How does that feel? That as soon as you click live, that your expectations of getting over thousands and thousands of people are tuned in, subscribe. They're subscribing while they watching your videos and everything. How does it feel?
It's honestly, like I say, like I see all of this as a blessing, because I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? This seat should be empty. This seat shouldn't even be here. You know what I mean? Because I literally took a step. You know what I mean? And that one step just took me to where I am now. If I wouldn't have never made cell phone video footage and threw it up on YouTube, if Rez didn't tell me to do that, we probably wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? I'd probably be doing something totally different. But what I say is, when I go live or I'm uploading content, I still do it for fun. I still make content that I want to make. And if people rocking with it, they rocking with it. If they not, they're not. You know what I mean? I don't look at it like, if I upload a video, it got to be a certain amount of views, or I'm not going to make another one. I'm not one of those people. I make the content because I think it's funny. Me and my friends had a hell of a time recording it, so I'm going to put it up. When I go live, I'm going live with my community. So if I'm not playing with my friends on a park or in any video game, I go to my Discord server and ask, do anybody want to play? These are people that watch my videos. I ask them, "Yo, you want to rock with me? You want to play?" And that's how I give back, because a lot of people don't understand that essentially, you can grow, you can get big, you can get millions of views, you can get a lot of money from this, but essentially, are you a gamer? That's what always runs back in my mind. Like, yo, are you a gamer, or are you just doing this for a check? And I never really got into it for the check. Is that the check just magically appeared? You know what I mean? So that's why, like, when people say, "Yo, like, why you going so hard on Facebook?" Because I like playing video games. I was going to be streaming these. I mean, well, not streaming. We're playing these 4 to 8 hours daily anyway. So why not stream? You know what I mean? So like you said, like I did a 9-hour stream. Wasn't tired. I kept playing after I got off. You know what I mean? Like that's what I do. I play video games. So you know, streaming ain't nothing but a thing. You feel me? So that's just how that go.
Yeah. What did I want to ask you? So something else that has gotten big time is gaming as a whole, having gaming leagues. When you start seeing the big splurge with now the NBA has gotten into a gaming league, and other sports are starting to get into it, how did it make you feel seeing the big elevation of gaming and having gaming leagues?
I believe that it's transcended. You know what I mean? Like when we first started out doing this, we just thought like, yo, it was cool to upload videos and stuff like that and make content, because from a content creator standpoint, that's all you think about. But essentially, we weren't thinking about tournaments. We weren't thinking about leagues. We were just thinking about just making content, having fun, laughing. And I'm happy to say that I'm glad the NBA stepped in and helped out making a league for actual gamers and are cutting them a check. Like some of these guys make, I think like 60,000 in 6 months. You know what I mean? Like that's real talk. One of the dopest things I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Because think about it. These guys are putting in work. I'm talking 18-hour days, labbing, trying to get their craft perfected, and try to get a chance to make it to the league. Like this is legit. Like real talk, high school type stuff. You going through high school, trying to get your stats right, try to go to college for 1 year, and then possibly try to get drafted. These dudes are sitting in their cribs right now playing this game, NBA 2K21, for the possible chance to get drafted. And some people aren't as good, you know what I mean, to get drafted the first year. Some people gotta wait 3 years, you know what I mean. But if you consistently put that work in, people gonna notice. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people that got drafted from last year, like these dudes had Cinderella stories. You know what I mean? Like dudes took 2 whole seasons, won a whole bunch of tournaments, still didn't get a look, but they got drafted top 3, top 5 this year, and it was really dope to see that story. You know what I mean? They got the accolades now, and now they in the NBA. This is legit the NBA 2K League. So now that these guys are in the NBA, they're getting sponsorships, they're getting rooming, housing, stuff like that, because a lot of people are coming from different cities. They're of course getting a paycheck for it, you know what I mean? And they're a brand now, you know what I mean? These guys are getting verified on Twitter, stuff like that. You know, the normal package that comes with being a professional athlete, because that's now what they are. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be an athlete with athleticism, they're an athlete with these, you know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? It's all about the hand, eye coordination, all that. So, yeah.
We have a question here from Evan Lewis. He says, and I'm pretty sure you had this question a few times while you was playing the live on 2K, but how come you don't have an official face scan on 2K?
Okay, so Evan, there was a scan event 2 years ago that I didn't get an invite to, and basically every single year since 2018, I've been trying to reach out to the team to see if they had any more space. And what they do every year is they scan new artists into the game. So if you're a top musician and stuff like that, they'll scan that player in, because they essentially have 1.1 million followers, 2.2 million, 3.3 million. So they try to get their fan base to come over to the game with those face scans, you know what I mean? Whereas though with me, I just been in the game off and on, you know what I mean? Messing with the dev team, and I hop over and do something for live. When you trying to make video games better, you're not just a house, like one house, one shot, one road. You know what I mean? My vision ain't like this. I'm trying to make all video games better. So when you do work with EA Sports, 2K Sports might not like it. You do work with 2K Sports, EA Sports might not like it. So with me, I don't play the politics. I just try to make all video games better, you know what I mean? Because essentially, we playing everything we possibly can get our hands on. So, you know, that's just how that go. But, yeah, official face scan, I mean, it might come, it might not. Honestly, I'm still having fun gaming, you know what I mean? That I feel like the face scan don't make it or break it for me. You know what I mean? Like, and of course, I believe they spend about $25,000 on each face scan anyway. So,
wow.
I mean, listen, if you do something different and you put the $25,000 in my pocket, I'm cool. You know what I mean?
25K for a face scan.
Yeah, because like they have like this big huge rig of like all these cameras and stuff like that. So like the whole process is like 25 grand. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. You put that in my pocket any day. Over put it in the face
sure.
scan. I feel you on that.
In the words of Lil Jon, let's go.
Right.
Once again, it's the Platform Sports Talk Show. We're getting it in with IpodKingCarter. So, one of your highlights that I would have to imagine that happened for you was when you was in a 2K commercial. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How was that? How was that feeling?
That feeling was surprising. So basically, let me tell you the story behind this. Ronnie 2K calls me and says, "Yo, we got a dope opportunity. We want to get you out to OKC or something, right?" And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, OKC, NBA playoffs. OKC, I think is playing the Spurs. I wonder what we about to do out here. Maybe they got like a game or something for us to go to. But like, as you looking at the game schedule, and then you're looking at the time you flying out, you're like, well, I mean, we can't be going to a game. So what's about to happen? So we get to OKC. You know what I'm saying? It's me and 3 other creators. We just vibing, chilling. And then we go to like the call place, and Ronnie's like, yo, go in there. This lady gonna handle everything for you and all that. And I'm just like, what are we doing here?
Like, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, up until that point, I knew nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because he's trying to surprise us. You know what I mean? Because he was trying to look out. And when we get in the room, the lady's telling us, like, hey, you got to sign all these NDAs. You have a union, like all this weird stuff. And I'm like, a union? I'm like, lady, what are you talking about? And she's like, all right, so for the commercial. And I'm like, the commercial? Like, lady, what you talking about, commercial? Like, yeah, for the commercial, we got to have everything signed. And I'm like, what are we doing? She's talking about wages and pay. And I'm like, what? At this point, I'm lost. I'm like, yo, what y'all doing? I feel like I'm about to get shipped off somewhere. What's going on? So then like 6-7 minutes later, man, Kevin Durant walked through the door.
Wow.
I'm like,
That's dope.
I'm like, KD?
Like DKD?
Yeah, so, you know, and that was what it was for. It was for him shooting his intro for NBA 2K15. And we happened to be a part of it, and it was fire. And they aired it during the playoffs too, so it was super dope, super dope.
Okay.
And so how does it feel being around other creators like yourself?
It's always the best time. Always the best time. Whenever I get around creators, I'm a livid person because, you know, we'll game together, we might chat, but when we see each other in person, that's when you get the real me, like, yo, what's good? Like, what we doing? Like, and we just go out, have fun all the time. Like, it's always good. Like, there's not one creator that I've met that I haven't bonded with, chill, talk about taxes, credit, you know what I'm saying, trying to better them, trying to better myself, talk about management, agencies, like all of those type of things. Because what you have to understand is content creators are my peers. You know what I mean? So when, like, say for instance, I'm talking to an agent or something, and he's telling me like, yo, like, I got this crazy video idea, and I'm like, yo, I gotta come up with a video idea because I got this brand that I gotta work with tomorrow. And he's like, yo, why don't you try this? So you just start bouncing ideas off of people's head and all that. And then like my team, like 3MG, Trey, X Chase Money, Ken, like Raunchy, like we all just come together and be like, yo, this dope. What you think about this thumbnail? Yo, what you think about this title? And we just bounce ideas off each other constantly. So when I see those people in real person, it's dope. Like the last time I seen my homie Chase was, I think, 2017. And we had went to E3 together, you know what I'm saying? Like me, him, Ricky, and a couple of Ricky homies, and my boy Crypto 9095. And we stayed in the Airbnb together, you know what I'm saying? It was fun, you know what I'm saying? We shot a couple of vlogs, you know what I'm saying? We went out shopping, all these different things. So
that was
meeting with creators is dope.
That was the one in which, was that the one in which y'all had like a little basketball video? And like y'all was around a hoop or a court, and y'all was like playing a game in which y'all had like shoot shots, and if the person missed it, the other person made it, then that won. It was like you and Cash or Chase. I can't recall who it was.
Oh yeah, so Cash, yeah. All my basketball videos most of the time is with Cash in them. So like I be doing basketball videos with like 2 Hype. Yo, literally, I don't be planning none of this stuff. Like If I
It's
fly
all
out to
spontaneous?
it's all spontaneous. So Pete,
Yeah, okay.
if I fly out to LA, right, and I'm out there for an event or something like that, and I might be with a couple different creators, and they be like, "Yo, pull up." I'm like, "All right," and then dudes got all these cameras out and all this, and they be like, "Yo, Pi, you trying to play?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Fuck it." You know what I mean? So like, it's always great content that comes out of that, of me just being in the right place at the right time, because I don't go places looking for content. It's more so if the content comes to me, then we'll make it. I really want to come out there and say, "Yo, what's good? How you been?" You know what I mean? Because we don't get to have those personal conversations just over Discord or Twitter and stuff like that. But when I see you in person, yo, I've been going through some shit. Yo, you been going through some shit. What's going on? You good? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? We have that talk. It's really real talk. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of us, we consider ourselves, how would we say, not affiliates, but more like colleagues. But I always come off as the person that wants to actually have real conversation with people. You know what I mean? And see where their heads are at. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm talking to one of my homies, he's like, "Yo, I'm about to buy a Tesla," and I'm like, "Yo, make sure you pay your taxes." You know what I mean? So like those type of conversations that we have, like it's like, yo, I might be the old head, even though I'm in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? They be like, "Yo, you the old head," but it's more so I've been in the game so long that you got to tell some of these people, because you don't want to be paying back taxes. You want to make sure your credit right. Yo, it's time to start getting into flipping houses if you're making a lot of money. Like, you know what I mean? Start getting into investing, what your 401k looking like. You know what I'm saying? What your IRA is looking like. Like, so I'm one of those people that try to set people up for the long haul, because we can't make videos in our 60s. Right. Like, I dare not do that. You know what I mean?
So, you can do it first if you want. Let's see what happens. Wow. Look how big your eyes got. Oh, wow. And you sound like a financial advisor.
I'm a cookie. Hey. Watch this.
And one time nobody thought the NBA would have a 42-year-old, and I had that. Nobody thought that the NBA would have an 80-year-old coach, and 70-something. You know, so hey, yeah, you can raise the boys.
That is true.
But if you're not trying to, I figure though, but financial advisor sound like you are a counselor, a tax specialist, investment specialist.
Yeah, I'm just about everything.
Fatherhood, brotherhood, husbandhood. You got all them hats, boy. I tell you.
Yeah, I try my best. I try my best to just be one of those guys. Yeah, because I feel like, you know, when we was growing up, our parents ain't know, their parents ain't know. You know what I mean? So like when you growing up in the hood, it's like, how we gonna get out? You know what I mean? So like that was always my my thought process. Like, how I'm gonna get out? How am I gonna get my family out? How am I not going to be in my 40s and my 50s praying that when my son walk out that door, he come home?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like those type of thoughts run through your head even at a young age, because you see people go through it. You know what I'm saying? You see people get shot and just be looking like, you know what I'm saying? So like it was always like, yo, how we going to get out? And I felt like me working at the airport when I wanted to go to community college, it was like, yo, community college, I'm paying all this bread and I'm about to be working 3-4 jobs just to pay my tuition, because I wasn't getting no grants, no loans, no none of that. Like I was gonna be busting my ass at Burger King, busting my ass at Sears, and just trying my best to stay afloat with all this work just to get a business management degree. You know what I mean? So I just thought, like, you know what? Let me go to the airport and see what that looked like. And I went to the airport, saved up money, got my own place with me and my girl. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, years later, got into the YouTube stuff. And now we are here. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a great journey for me, for sure.
Well, I'm glad we're getting the authentic you. As you said, when you talk to your people, when you actually meet in person, y'all talk about stuff that you don't talk to about, you know, doing your video games and YouTube. But I'm glad people are seeing the other side of what gaming is all about, like the personal side of you. And then you broke it down when you're talking about the dev and creating the content, all that goes on behind, you know, the scenes. It's a whole bunch of information that's coming out to my head. And I appreciate it. Somebody who doesn't game.
Shout out to the bald head people.
Information. Oh yeah, y'all little ball crew. Okay, let y'all have it.
I had to get fresh for the video.
There you go.
Even for a Smooth, I tell him, you know, he's black business owner, he production, he engineer, he does all that, and I'm like, dude, this is dope. And you don't have to have a college degree to get on it. And y'all self-made yourselves, y'all figure stuff out, y'all produce, y'all do all of this, and then you share the information, or you share your platform. You just said it's enough enough room at the table where everybody can be there. You ain't gotta have a competition. So I like that.
Yeah. I'm
For
definitely
both
not.
of
I'm not
y'all.
one of those people at all. Like, I've always said to myself, like, listen, if I'm on, everybody's on. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody reach out to me and be like, yo, I heard Facebook giving out them bags, I'll be like, yeah, but you gotta be willing to put the hours in. And then they be like, I don't know if I could do all them hours. I'll be like, well, it may not be for you. You know what I'm saying? On my next venture, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it might be for you. Maybe you might come back around. But for the most part, I always send people like, yo, this person want a logo. Yo, that person went on this platform. Yo, this person need a partnership right now. Yo, he needs to be verified. So like, I got connections everywhere. I got connections with Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, freaking, what is that, the other website? I think it's TikTok thing. Like I got connections there, but I just don't have time to make TikTok content. Like I just don't.
Right, me neither.
Like that's a whole nother level. Like you really got the creativity level that you have to have with them TikToks is crazy because I don't dance. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be on that joint doing all this and that. I ain't got time.
Those fingers and thumbs do the dancing on the controllers, but not with the music.
Yeah, not with the music, not at all. I just recite a couple raps and that's it when I'm streaming. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, it's just having connections after all these years is one of the most valuable things. You know what I mean? Like all the money in the world, you can have it, you can make it, you can get it. You can put it in the bank, you can pay your tax, you can get cribs, all that. But the connections is valuable because today, if somebody wanted to strike one of my videos on my YouTube channel, my YouTube channel could possibly go down. But I had the connections at Google to say, yo, somebody did something stupid. Go ahead and see if you can get that joint lifted. And they get it lifted. You know what I mean? Just having those type of connections is key. Yo, I want to be verified on Instagram. Can you make it happen? Oh, yeah, we can make it happen. Thanks. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's like connections are really, really crucial in this game. And I never burn bridges. Let's put it like that. Because I was about to say I always make sure I keep people close. But I never burn bridges whatsoever. Like, if me and you aren't cool, there has to be something internally wrong with you and not me, because I'm a cool going person. You know what I mean? If you have any type of ill will against me, that's your loss, because me and you just never going to talk, and that's it. You know what I mean? And I'm a cool person. Everybody say they cool with me. You know what I mean? I've always had that mentality. Even when I started YouTube to put everybody on, I did a series on my channel which was called So You Think You Can Commentate, where I had smaller creators come in, upload videos to my channel and stuff like that. I threw 2 different tournaments called Sports March Madness, where like we did like the whole like college March Madness tournament tier thing. I had creators going up against each other, battling each other to get the crown and get cash prizes and stuff like that. So like I've always been a person of the community. So if somebody got a problem with me, you got a problem with yourself. So like that's just how it goes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Earlier, you brought up with the commercial how all of a sudden here comes Kevin Durant. I've seen other videos in which you've met other celebrities. Just off the top of your head, who can you recall throughout your journey that you've been able to have the pleasure of meeting?
I've definitely met a lot of basketball players. Kevin Durant for sure. I shot the commercial with KD. I shot an actual video with Embiid.
I saw that.
Shot an actual video with Harden. And at the 2K launch parties that we all be going to, I met Ben Simmons. I was kicking it with KD. I was chilling with who the heck is was it? I think it was a Lake. It was Lance Stevenson. Who else? I think D Wade didn't come that night. I was kicking it with AD. It was just so many different basketball players that I've met over the years. You know what I'm saying? Like I met Paul George at a couple games. Also, I stayed mellow connected with people that's from my city. So like Jalil Beats, he's a producer that been going crazy ever since we was younger. You know what I mean? And he just stayed going, just kept pushing. And me and him, we go out to different events, meet up with different artists and stuff like that. And when I go to these Sixers games, I got a connection at the Sixers. So if I want to get like a booth or floor seats or whatever the case may be, it might be like a little fee or something, like maybe like not as crazy as like actual floor seats, but might have to pay like a small tab if ain't nobody sitting there, and just get those type of you know what I mean, events to go to. So that's pretty dope as well. Who else have I met? Oh, I met Number 6 Man, the movie.
Yeah.
I met the lead actor, not Marlon Wayans.
Hardison. Kadeem.
Yeah, Kadeem Hardison. I met him before.
Nice.
Met Waka Flocka before. Who else did I meet?
We go hard in the paint.
Yeah, I almost met Lupe Fiasco, but he was moving through the crowd so crazy. Yeah, he was moving through the crowd so crazy because you know, it was like a little gaming tournament and stuff. And of course, like, I guess all the YouTube celebrities that you might know, I've met all of them, kicked it with them for sure. As far as like movie art, like actors and actresses, like I haven't met too many of them though. But like it's been like times where I went to an event, I seen Gabrielle Union. Of course, I ain't walking up to, like, I don't walk up to females and just be like, yo, like, I don't do that. You know what I mean?
You know who I am?
If you get introduced, yeah, if you get introduced organically as a female, like, then cool, yeah. But I don't just be going up approaching people because I feel like that's mad disrespectful. You know what I mean? It's a woman's choice to speak to someone. You know what I mean? That's kind of like how I grew up. Like, it's not up to you to go barging up to somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
That you clearly don't know, but of course you know them, and you just all in their face like, you know what I mean? So yeah.
You said that's how you grew up, but that's not the culture. Like, is that how in Philly a lot of the guys think like that, or no?
Nah, I think it's just a me thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you for sure that I'm not like every other dude. You know what I mean? So like with me, like I don't have like those urges to do, you know, infidelity type things, like all the crazy stuff that people do. I don't do hookah. I just don't do none of that stuff. Like I feel like I get my joy from chilling with the kids, chilling with my wife, and playing games. You know what I mean? That's where my joy comes from, because essentially most of all of my friends that I grew up with, most of them are dead now. You know what I mean? So like when we grew up, it is rough out there. Yeah. So like, you know, playing video games and meeting people online, that's like the escape. Like, yo, we friends now. You know what I mean? But when we go to gaming conventions and we meet up in person, oh shit, now we even closer. You know what I mean? So like, I talk to the homies daily. You feel me? So that's just how that go. Yeah, but like when I was growing up, like I said, some people just don't make it out. You know what I mean? Like they try their hardest, but some people just don't make it out.
And something that we discussed prior to the show starting, and you brought up a little bit earlier, if you don't mind talking about it again, but we discussed how everyone's put their 100%, their all into a job that they don't really like, but don't want to put 110% into their passion. And then we talked about multiple streams as well. If you can further discuss that.
So when I look at everything that's going on with COVID, like you said, opened up a lot of eyes to multiple streams of revenue, because essentially if you put all your eggs in one basket and that basket goes empty, there is no other basket for you to reach for. So essentially when I started at the airport, that was one stream of revenue. Then while I was at the airport, I was selling CDs, doing iPods, putting movies on people's devices, you know what I mean, making another stream of revenue within one stream of revenue. Then it branched off into making the videos for YouTube. Yeah, the money was different. It was smaller. I was still trying to get used to it, but eventually it grew over time, and that became a nice mainstream revenue. And then I was just juggling too. Then came Twitch. Oh, I can make revenue on Twitch. That's 3 streams of income. Then, Facebook, that's 4 streams of revenue. Then it was advertisements, sponsorships, affiliateships. You know what I mean? So at this point, I think I got like 9 streams of revenue right now. So yeah, like, and I never will stop one of them for the other. I will balance all of them out. So essentially, if I say I want to stream 7 times a month on Twitch, if I stream those 7 times a month for an hour, that could be upwards of $600 to $1,200 for only 7 streams for an hour. You know what I mean? So when you think about it, that can make more money than a regular part-time job out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like those are the things that you have to think about when you say, okay, do you want to stretch yourself? You know what I mean? Because some people call it stretching yourself thin. I call it putting yourself out there. You know what I mean? So like essentially you have to try out something to see if it works. Just like with Uber, like I was telling you that story. One of my good friends called me. I was like, yo, man, I'm hurting. You know what I mean? I'm backed up. It's messed up. You know what I'm saying? This was like, I think like 2 years ago. He was like, yo, Uber's running like some crazy promotion. yo, if you do 20 rides, you get $400, and I get $400. And I'm like, listen, bro, I got you, bro. It's nothing. Hopped in my car, signed up on the app, did Uber in the day. Boom. My man got 800 real quick. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even need the 400. Yo, just go ahead, do what you gotta do, bro. Get right. You know what I mean? And then eventually, when he seen what I did for him, the sacrifice that I made, he was like, yo, bro, like how do you even have the drive to do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got all this other stuff going on. I see you doing your thing on YouTube. Like, why'd you even help me? Because you're my man. We grew up together. You know what I mean? Like, if you call on me, like, I'm not one of them people that is just gonna give you money and then let you fuck it up. If you tell me that, yo, I'm down bad, my daughter need this, like, I got you. We gonna come up with a plan and get you right. So essentially, I say, yo, Uber's your plan. This is where it goes. Now you do the Uber Eats, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't got to deal with people in your car and all that. And essentially, that's one stream of revenue. Okay, if Uber not popping, open up Lyft. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Amazon hiring, Amazon Flex. So essentially, he's making revenue now, and he got like 4 streams of revenue right now.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And it's doing really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Got a cool apartment, daughter cool. You know what I'm saying? Actually trying to be in a relationship with the mom. So like, it's just a mentality you got to have. You got to have a certain mentality to be focused. And a lot of people, I feel like nowadays, they see the glitz, they see the glamour, they see the money, they see the cars, the belts, the fashion, all that, and they lose focus. You know what I mean? Like, I always tell people, like, bro, you shouldn't be on nobody's bus stop with a Gucci belt on. You should be in a little beater right now, getting around. You know what I'm saying? That makes more sense to me than just rocking a Gucci belt at a bus stop. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
easier to look the part and know you got the funds rather than do the grind to get it to where you can actually afford it. See?
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So like with me, like they got this dude named Dave Ramsey. Like there was this dude that lost like all of his fortune back in like 2008 or whatever with like the real estate crash and stuff. Mm-hmm. And essentially he built up his stuff by writing books and helping people out with their money troubles. But it essentially tells us like, yo, we shouldn't have no debt. You know what I mean? Because essentially a person could be in debt for 30 years. And of course that's a standard mortgage, FHA. Mm-hmm. And what happens is if you're in debt for 30 years and you're not trying to get that joint paid off in 5 to 10, you're essentially paying triple of what amount that is. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. You see the new let's say the S550, right? That joint looking good. You're like, damn, that S550 fire. I want that car so bad. You go to the dealer, you sign up, get on that payment plan. Now you're in a 7-year deal paying $550 a month for a car. You know what I mean? That car probably worth like $130. You might pay back $240 for it. You know what I mean? That's $240,000 that you about to pay for a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And they don't tell us that. You know what I mean? They just say, yo, that thing fire. You pushing something nice right now. Nah, man, this boy nailing teeth. He at work all day to pay off a car. You know what I mean? That he's not driving around. He not sporting around in that joint. He busting behind that joint, parked at the parking lot. He clocking in right now to pay that car off, and that's what they don't teach us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can be in a beater, upgrade 5 years later, upgrade another 5 years. It just keeps stacking your money. You know what I mean? We get into all these bad like credit card debts, student loans, and all that, and then essentially we're not building no wealth, and that's what it really comes down to. You have to learn how to build wealth. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like being a content creator, it helps the wealth building, but essentially without the mindset that I have, I could blow all this shit. You know what I mean? Because it's fast money. Like if like a brand say, yeah, we'll give you $1,500 to do something, I could blow that $1,500 the same day, or I could put the $1,500 away, see what the mutual funds looking like, see what the high interest savings account. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because that's what they don't teach us. Somebody said Dave Ramsey is the truth. Right. Yeah, I mean, listen, Dave Ramsey, he'll tell you not to use credit cards, but I use credit cards for cash back because I treat my credit card. Yeah. Well, no, not points, cash back. I don't do points. I do points because I use it for travel. I just signed up for it, but for travel and stuff. Yeah, I don't work at the airport. I don't have those kids like you. Yeah, so like with me, like the cash back is huge. You know, like I pay all my bills on credit cards. So like I pay all my bills. I only got to pay one bill at the end of the month. You know what I mean? And just use it as that. And it might add up to like $60 cash back every single month. You know what I mean? And then I just let that stuff stack up all 12 months. and cash out at the end of the year and stuff. Just do that. But essentially, he tells us that to not have no debt, nowhere. And, he got these, like, baby step plans and all this stuff, like a whole bunch of more stuff that you got to do to grind to get out of debt if you're already in it. But essentially, me, I just think, like, yo, I just want to make sure that the kid's good. So I go straight to saving and investing and make sure that they have a future, you know what I mean? Because, we ain't all going to be here, you know what I mean, for forever, So,
got another comment. This is from one of my longtime friends, man, Edward Williams. Bunny, his mother is Alice Williams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay.
So she
his mom's so nice. I haven't met her, but she's nice.
Yeah, she's a faithful follower. He's also a gamer. Actually, he is the one. Who was that next to you?
Hey, thanks, man. My son.
Hey.
What's this, Dave?
What's this?
Matter of fact, can you put this in the microwave for me? Well,
I thought he was getting them homework. I'm like,
don't turn it on. Just put it in the microwave because I'll come up and eat.
No, I thought he was giving that virtual homework.
Right.
No. I think my wife's celebrating. She ordered, or she just didn't want to cook. But yes.
Hey. Man.
So
whole nother subject.
Right. So
before we came on here. Here go there.
Oh yeah, okay.
I was rushing to make sure I get that done and then we can get this live going.
Exactly.
Okay, about that. So what was Edward saying?
Yeah. So Edward, remember I told you earlier about a friend of mine who's in the band who travels all the time.
Yeah.
That's him, Edward.
Okay.
So,
okay, what up, Ed?
Yeah, so he has a band called Witherwork. They've been popping. They started out in Nashville, Tennessee, over 6-7 years ago, Ed, and now they've been traveling around the country. Right now they're on hold because of the pandemic. And he's also real big into gaming as well. He has a little channel that he has on Facebook that he does his live streams and everything too. And he actually helped me out with getting things together for my production for the Sports Talk show. So I just want to give him a big shout out, say thank you, Ed, for all your expertise.
Thank you, Ed, because you got smooth productions with the Platforms Talk show.
Yeah.
On point.
Yeah. So
great job.
He's big time, man. So shouts out to you and to everybody else watching right now. Thank you very much. Share this stream with the peoples. Make sure that you give us a follow. Subscribe on YouTube. Click on that.
I'm about to say button. Bell.
There you go. Because anytime you go live,
that bell hit different.
I know, I'm about to say the button. I'm trained.
Because anytime we go live, you will be notified. So, there you go. Thank you, Ed. So for people like Ed, for others who are in the gaming industry or trying to start out in the industry, what is some advice that you would give to them?
The first set of advice would be do what you love first and foremost. So if you want to create content or you want to stream, you have to want to love it or love it already. I don't want people coming in with the mindset like, okay, I'm doing this for money, because essentially, if you're doing this for money, that grind is going to take you to actually start making some real good money. It's going to be a while. People don't just jump right into success right off the bat. You know what I mean? You have to grind for some years, and that's where having a secondary job comes in at. You don't want to devote all your time to one thing that's not making you any income. So you have to have something else that's going to get you that income. I always tell people that want to be YouTubers or even streamers, listen, go get yourself a part-time job at the airport. I'm telling you right now, if you love video games, that means you're going to love conventions. You literally can go to a convention for $200 out of the whole stay if you worked at the airport, because you fly free and you have hotel discounts. You know what I mean? Super duper easy. You feel me? And another thing, when it comes to equipment, don't get intimidated by the huge production that you see some of your favorite streamers have. Yeah, it took them a long time to save up for all that. It took a lot of donations. It took a lot of tax write-offs. It took a whole lot of just grinding day in and day out to get all the equipment that they got. Start off on some budget setups. You know what I'm saying? I got a website, kit.co/IpodKingCarter, where you can go and find a budget setup. You might not spend no more than $600, and you'll be able to record, you'll be able to stream, you'll be able to do all of that just with this budget setup. Super simple. You know what I mean? Like, I think my setup over the years, I probably purchased like maybe 2 items per year. And now I think I have a pretty good setup where I don't have to make any upgrades anytime soon.
Nice. And your advice earlier, man, that you have been this whole show, you've been spelling out gems. So I'm glad that everyone is who's tuning in. For those who are trying to get to that level that you're trying to get to, even us, as a sports talk show, 3 years strong, and we've seen the growth, but we're still trying to learn how to get the numbers up. How you're doing it, and getting into the YouTube, getting into different social media. So I definitely want to get at you after we get off the live and just get some more tips from you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
But
the first thing that I could say for sure, let me see, because I had it popped up here. Let's see, hold on 1 second. So I'm currently looking at the live stream feed, and essentially what you want to do is and this is just real easy, quick stuff, right? So right now you have a vidIQ score SEO of 21 out of 100, which is red, right? So you have the platform sports talk show, and then you have the date that you have it, but you don't have the special guest that you have, which is my name is a keyword that will pop up in a search. So people, if they search my name, they'll see your whole entire stream, right? And it's live. So that means that any viewer that might be just typing my name in while we live, this might pop up.
Okay.
The description is really, really something that really people go over. So you want all your social medias in the description. You want a description of what the show talks are about. You know what I mean? And of course, I see you have it has my name, special guest via Zoom. But honestly, you just want to go over a rundown of your show, what you're going to be talking about, because those are also keywords. We're talking about Kansas City Chiefs. We're talking about the Texans. We're talking about LeBron James. And, you know what I mean? We're talking about the NBA playoffs. You got to have all that stuff in there, because all those keywords pop up, and you're a sports talk show, which means everything sports is your channel, right?
Right.
So you got to have all those keywords in the description and in the tags. You got to have LA Lakers. You got to have LeBron James. You got to have Houston Rockets. You got to have playoff game 6, playoff game 5. You know what I mean? You have to have the start of the NFL season. You got to have all that in the description to boost your show up to the standard. You know what I mean? So right now, right, you have
about YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, the way your title is, I would put the sports talk show. You can put the dates and stuff like that, but I think you should start changing to episodic stuff. So you know how the Joe Budden podcast is, how it's episodes and stuff like that. You can put on the back end the date, but also the episode too. So when you put all of your stuff in a playlist, it's literally everything right there. You know what I mean? And just make your titles more branding. So this title will probably be the platform sports talk show, and probably a colon, and then a special guest IpodKingCarter stops in to talk about, and then whatever we talking about.
Got you.
And then you know what I mean, and then put inside the description at the top, say we're talking with IpodKingCarter about this, and we're also talking about the NBA playoffs 2020, as well as the start of the new NFL season 2020.
Right.
And all those keywords just boost you up the whole entire list. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Because right now, it's I'm looking at it, and you don't have no end screens, no description links. You have video tags. You got ESPN, Fox Sports. You have all that stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to put your show up at the top. You know what I'm saying? So right now, your first tag should have been the platform sports talk show.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or sports talk show. And then the next tag needs to be sports talk show. Then the next tag needs to be platform show. And then the next one after that is platform sports. You know what I'm saying? And just change your name in the tags 4 or 5 different ways.
Yeah.
Then you can put basketball, football, NBA.
Okay.
But essentially, if you're trying to get tagged up there with Fox, you need to make content that's reacting to Fox Sports. So say for instance, you go on ESPN and Shannon Sharp say something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Or Skip. Somebody say something crazy, you're man, I don't agree with that. You don't even need to make no show. You can do a right then and there video of you reacting to what the hell they just said that you do not agree with, because you're a sports talk show. And that could just be a nice little tidbit episode. You could throw that on social media, You know what I mean? You don't just have to link them to the YouTube video because it'll only be like 2 to 3 minutes of you getting your stuff off. Then upload that to Twitter and they're like, "Ooh, this boy, you spin him Jim. Hold on, yeah, Skip was wrong. Hold on, oh, okay." And then that's how you build your social media, because essentially you want to take the vibe, cut it up, and see what clips you can put everywhere else to get the drive of all the social media to get your whole engine rolling. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you can say say for instance, you react to the whatever NFL team won tonight, right? After the podcast is over, right? So after that, it's like, all right, well, darn, we was going through everything, and then you can say, yo, we just watched live first game of the NFL. You say just your reaction of it, and put that on social media and tell them, yo, tune in this time daily for our talk show. And then, you know what I mean, you give that call to action to have those people come like, oh, you know what, I like what he was saying.
Yeah.
He got somewhere where he puts his content. I want to watch it. And then eventually the subscribers start going up, the views start going up, and then you can just build off of that. You know what I mean? You just gotta be there to make the content and make sure you're making relevant content that has to do with the day to day. Because if you ever notice, ESPN, they might have a whole half an hour to an hour show, right? But you ever notice they take them 3-minute clips real quick. Oh, he said this, boom. He said LeBron's better than Jordan, and then next thing you know, we got something to talk about.
Yep.
You can talk about that stuff, you know what I mean? And we do. What's Tree doing? Yeah, so like that's like the main thing, you know what I mean? Like it's all about SEO. Yo, Eddie, what's good with you, bro? Yo,
there we go.
I see you on YouTube.
You got somebody else saying, "Yo, the legend."
Yeah, Eddie had sent me a message. I think it was Eddie who sent me this message. He sent me a message earlier about somebody that had made a crazy video about me. And you know, I always say to myself, like, yo, if you got a problem with me, then there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? So like it's one of those things where I've been so blessed in all of my years of doing what I do to be where I am. I don't have the time nor energy to feed in the negativity at all. Like it does nothing for me. You know what I mean? So like I just always say to myself, like, bro, tripping over there, you know what I mean? So that's just it. Like I don't got nothing bad to say about nobody. I don't got time for it, you know what I mean? Because I'm always on to the next thing, you feel me?
Exactly, man. Once again, thank you for the dimes that you've been dropping, the gems.
Right, getting them jewels.
We definitely and for those watching, I hope y'all listening to what this man is saying, because it's going to definitely help you, like it's going to help our show as well. Fun question for you. How long did it take your lady to accept you playing a lot of video games?
It took her about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So once she actually seen like a crazy check come in, she's like, you know what, babe?
Hey, I would have been the same way. Like, oh, okay.
It took a minute, but she always told me like, hey, if you want to quit the airport, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? Because of course I could get on her flight benefits, and we're already on her full-time medical. I was like, no, I'm cool. I can stay part-time. I can maybe work 1 or 2 days a month. You know what I mean? That ain't nothing crazy.
You said a month.
You feel me? And just keep my percentage up. You feel me? So I still do that because I have a worker's mentality. You know what I mean? I'm willing to work, no problem.
Nice. So let's talk about.
Wait. Please give a shout out to his wife for that too. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hanging in there with you, be like, oh, okay. See, teamwork make the dream work. I like that.
Exactly. Hey, because I've seen so many posts on social media. In social media, you can't take everything personal because it's social media,
right?
You know,
right?
But you'll see those posts. Get you a man who don't want to play video games, but want to build an empire. You know, stuff like that. It's like
I haven't seen that, but maybe because I ain't following the right people. But I always look at this. Everybody needs an outlet or do something they love, whether they're getting paid for it or not. We're human. I don't care what your grind hustle is, parenting, but everybody's human. You need an outlet. For some guys or women too, video games. If that helps, and you like to watch reality shows as your outlet, you know, because some people think that's trash. And you in the house, that's so much better sometimes than being outside the house because there's more trouble to do out there. So I think people got to pick it and look at it in perspective on it.
Yeah.
That's real for sure. I've always said like she's definitely been the one chasing my dream, but I have no problem stopping what I'm doing to figure out what she wants to do with hers. You know what I mean? So like,
Nice.
we're always growing together. Like we're in this together. You know what I mean? There is no I. There is no just her. You know what I mean? It's a we thing, and that's the kind of mentality that you have to have, because if y'all not on the same page, that's all y'all gonna be doing every day. Butt heads.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be on the same page.
Got
which
to.
is significant other always.
Got to. So before we wrap things up with you, man, once again, incredible show. This is gonna probably go down as one of our biggest shows we've had in our 3-year history. Bunny's been around for this show for about a month now, so she's getting the kicks in.
Okay.
So
she about to have it. She about to have your crazy setup soon.
Hey,
you better get that wall ready. You better paint that wall right. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to set that whole station up, right?
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
hey,
you better not trip over my cords.
Right.
That's to my new camera.
I'm like, but you say it now.
Oh, gee. Don't say now. Y'all trying to put me in the box like that. Women always got to say something and then say something else. Mm-mm.
But we love you, though. We love y'all. So, iPod, quick few rapid fire questions for you. Thoughts on the upcoming next-gen consoles, starting with Xbox and then PS5?
I'm definitely getting a PS5 because I'm a PlayStation guy, but I'm glad to see that the prices haven't jumped skyrocketed out of proportion, and I'm glad to see that, you know, even during COVID, they still will be coming out, you know what I mean? And I believe the only reason that they are coming out is because of COVID, because even though there was a crazy delay with technology, I believe that there's so many people sitting in the house and not doing much that they need these consoles to come out, because this is a time where it's at a dry spot. It's so many monitors selling out, so many gadgets selling out, PCs, mice, keyboards, everything's selling out. Everybody want to be a gamer now. So now that these new consoles are coming out, they cannot wait. They cannot wait to sell out. They cannot wait to have all the units pre-ordered. This is a huge money grab for Sony and Microsoft. You know what I mean? Because everybody
you're a
wants to game.
financial advisor, tell people to get stock into it before it comes out.
Well, actually, the stock has already risen. As soon as Microsoft came out with the Xbox digital version, the stock went up.
It's going to go up even more, though, and especially around holidays. That's why I say get a jump on it now, between now and October, because November and December is a wrap.
I mean, so many people put money in Tesla and Apple, though. You know what I mean? Because you heard about their split stock, so
right.
You know, they just need to split their stock.
For the people that did that, there's the other people who don't get into those stocks, and they'll be like, okay, give me something that I am familiar with. I'm not driving a Tesla, but I do gaming, and I actually got a son that like it. Let me look into that stock. Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, people definitely want to look into everything. AMD, Nvidia, you know, it's just so many. Like, I can talk about tech all day.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, do you feel, in regards to the issue with Madden, that the reason why the game isn't how it is? One, I always would say this, that NFL 2K5 was the best video football game ever. Do you agree with me?
I'm going to have to say yes and no, mainly because I didn't play it as much, but all of my friends raved about it. You know what I mean? All of my friends say, yo, this is bar none the best. And I was one of those people where I try to stay on the Madden wagon. And, you know, then we start playing NCAA. The last NCAA was really, really good because you could do so much customizing and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what creators are into now. But some people say, like, All Pro Football 2K joint, 2K5 was crazy. Yeah. But I just think the reason why Madden is the way it is because of budgets. You know what I mean? Like, you have to think about it. Everything that they've upgraded every year for the last 5 years has been into MUT. That's all. MUT is the only thing that they focus on, mainly because that's where they make their most revenue. You know what I mean? And like you said, you got to make your shareholders happy. And if you're not making your shareholders happy,
what I said earlier, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some people say, oh, it's because they don't got no competition. I believe that Madden has been on the same budget since Madden 05.
Wow. And
they just had, and with all the graphical arrays that you have to keep upgrading to, and the barriers you have to keep breaking, it's literally the same game because they really can't do too much. You know what I mean? Until they get that FIFA budget, and the FIFA budget is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And FIFA's up in Vancouver as well, whereas though Madden's in Tiburon in Orlando. but like the FIFA budget is insane. You know what I mean? Like they have actual people. Like they have a field where people can go mocap at. You know what I mean? In FIFA, so it's like it's insane.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like it's just those things. Like that's why we haven't seen an NBA Live for 2 years. You know what I mean? NBA Live budget is just, I don't think they're saving the budget. I just feel like they don't want to waste a budget on a year where they can't get everything right. They have to wait for a new engine.
Right.
I'm hoping that the next gen consoles give them some type of leeway to do something. You know what I mean?
Please, because I mean they've been dragging. They keep trying to come out with something, and then when they come out with it, it's like it looks like it's still on Dreamcast.
Oh wow, you took it there. You went back to Dreamcast.
I mean, I ain't gonna cap it. It didn't need help. It didn't need help.
It
You know
is
what I
what
mean?
it is.
It's like they could have
So
said that they shouldn't have released the thing. You should have said they should have went back to the drawing board rather than release it.
I mean,
Bro, see, this is what happens when you make any announcement, you have to come out. If
Yeah.
you cancel, it's like an instant slap in the face to all the
all
consumers
bad.
that
And a
were
bad PR
waiting.
move and a bad stock move. You're right.
Yeah.
and it
All
happened.
that money.
It happened what 2 times with
said.
NBA Live. Is that correct? It happened already like 2 times. They had plans to come out with the game, and they can't.
They canceled 3 times. Yeah, they canceled. I think it was 14, 20, and 21.
That's crazy.
Well, they didn't even make an announcement for 21.
Right.
They just didn't come out with 20.
Right.
Yeah. It hurts.
Do you also feel that they're trying to, in regards to Madden, that they're trying to save the best until the next gen come out?
No, they already said that the game is porting over.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's already null and void. See, this is the thing. 2K did it twice. 2K has made a previous gen game and a next gen game. You know what I'm saying? They did that for PS3 and PS4, and they did it for PS4, and now they're gonna be doing it for PS5. Madden just kept porting over every gen. Like, so when you think about it, you see how the way Grand Theft Auto is. Grand Theft Auto made only one game in one generation. Madden essentially been coming out with kind of like the same game, but just making upgrades to that game year after year. You know what I mean? So like they're dropping, like, you may look at it as like it's a brand new game, but no, honestly, it's more like a season pass, DLC, stuff like that. Like that's kind of what more like the type of vibe that it is. You know what I mean? So like if in Grand Theft Auto they dropping a new car pack, okay, now they have a X Factor. You know what I mean? In Madden, so now you can do something special ability with the same player that you've been seeing in the game every year. But so like it's kind of like not a reskin, but more so small additions to make a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is.
Why do you think budgets is the same reason why Madden has never gotten to doing face scans?
Yep, it's all about the budget. It's all about the budget. See, this is the thing. NBA teams, 15 players max. NFL teams, 56 players. Every team. Now, don't get me wrong. There are less teams in the NBA, but it's a lot of people you got to scan. And then you got to scan. Like, if you scanning the player, most players got to get their likeness scanned, and they got to get their play style scanned.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you have Trae Young come in the game, Trae Young can't play like Kyrie Irving.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you think about it, that's why basketball is so much more intricate with the details, because in Madden, honestly, if a player catch a ball, his run style can't be too much different. You know what I mean? Because essentially it's just running.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what they ended up doing was they started doing, like, when people would drop down after they hike the ball, the way they sit in the huddle, you know what I mean? That's what the type of vibe that they gave off, like, okay, this player feel different. You know what I'm saying? But essentially, not much they could really do. You know what I'm saying?
And I used to play Madden a lot, but I stopped really playing it because I feel like it just wasn't the same anymore. Or the problem was maybe it was the same. It didn't really, it didn't really elevate me to keep on buying the game. And then unfortunately, the same thing for NBA 2K. I used to play it every year, all the time, but I just kind of felt like the game just kind of lost interest for me. But like I said, I love seeing how you play the game, how you start off with your creative player till you go into playing the story mode, which I think this year's was pretty cool with their story mode. But as you see on the video, it does not compare to the Spike Lee one when he had Basquiat and all. Hey, that was an incredible storyline, and it has never been matched ever since. But the only sports game that I play is MLB The Show. I love that game.
You love that glitch land,
man.
Oh my god!
All right. So that is true that they be having as many patches as the Kardashian having surgery, but but the gameplay is still, to me, it's incredible, and I love because see this in 2K and in Madden, which probably budget reasons, but like they don't have the game the console to console saves, or when you have your creative player, you can't have that player be in 2K 18 and then 19. You gotta keep on having a new one going,
Right.
But then the same token, MLB The Show, just like on Madden, you can't face scan either. Right. Or know how like with 2K you can do your own face, whatever. Mm-hmm. You don't have the option.
Yeah, they just don't have the technology or app. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
Yeah. So.
But did you hear through the grapevine that ML, I think they might be trying to pull a license unless they upload if they put the game out on all consoles, they might pull a license from them. Did you hear about that?
I did hear that MLB The Show was going to start being not just on PlayStation, but on all the different consoles. I guess especially Xbox.
They have to earn more money doing that, though. Correct?
Yeah, they earn more money, but what happens is that they're scared of the user experience being flooded because Xbox people will tell you when your shit is fucked up. So. I think that's what they were scared of, but essentially, they're really the only baseball game out. So if they pull a license from them because they're not putting it out on all consoles, they can give it to anybody. And 2K did make a baseball game before, so it's all these possibilities. Maybe EA might want to pick it up. You never know. I mean, baseball is super, super duper popping, but it's just essentially the content to watch is just not as fun. You know what I mean? Like that's why they got all them the home run modes and stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they try to make it fun because they know the same through 9 innings is like.
Do that. Yeah, they better do like what MLB is doing right now. If you do a double header, 7 innings, that's all you get. Shoot, you better shorten that stuff.
So that pretty much answers my question on why you never played MLB The Show on any of your streams because of too many glitches and issues, huh?
Yeah, because Chase Money played every day, and I hear him raging all the time, man.
Got you.
All the time.
Got you.
Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Give me like a minute.
All right. Yeah, so this has been an incredible show, Bunny.
It has been. I'm sorry Stan didn't get to be live with us.
Yeah, he got to make that money. You got to be safe.
I understand. Look, we all do somehow way or another, right?
Yeah.
Well, you say multiple streams of income, so till we get on to different where money is making money for us while we sleeping or doing other stuff. Shoot.
And that's the beauty of this conversation we were having with him. This is what I really wanted to get out of him when I wanted to get him on the show. Of course, outside of him talking about what he's doing with playing video games, but for those followers who are checking in and just seeing how it's just not about turning the game on and hitting go live and that's it. It's everything else that you're putting into it. It's a sacrifice, like I said before. If you want to do this, you have to put your all into it. You know what I'm saying? And
he brought up a few good tips I think people don't realize, not just with gaming, but when you have a craft or a grind you're trying to get better at and expand, going to conventions and networking, talking to other people, that is huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Yeah. And then, for, like you said earlier, how the lady saw that paycheck come in, like, okay, yeah.
Because you already know, we like, wait, if this ain't making you money, you doing this every day? I'll wait, what? I could get it. Like, if you probably was already married and did it, that conversation go one way compared to if you dating somebody and be like, is this even worth it? Because you're not, making money. But, again, he was doing more than one thing, so that helps, too.
Right. And, hey, I know countless of times when I was younger, I'd be up 2, 3, 4 in the morning playing video games, and you still down here playing?
Right, because think about it from a lady's perspective. Let's just say we go to bed 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night, and even if you was out with your fellas, All right, about 2, 3 in the morning, and we wake up like, damn, you ain't back here from kicking it. But then you talking about you in the house and still ain't in the bed? Like, hold up now.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
And
Who you
then
chatting with? What y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't normal to us because we laying down, we thinking you gonna come up here in the bed. So, like, what's going on?
I mean, that's why you gotta that clear communication is key. Like,
right.
you know what I'm saying? You come downstairs, tap me on the shoulder, like, "Oh, we out. Oh, all right, bet. They stream, bye."
Exactly. Because I feel like, look, I'm not gonna compete against a video game. This be where women like, hold up.
It's not a competition.
But when you first bring it up and start talking about, okay, like I just said, everybody needs an outlet, right? Like I said, you got reality shows, you got this TV, you can do, I'm talking about outside the house. If you do stuff outside the house, again, if a dude go kick it every night and his lady at home waiting, like that gets old. I mean, y'all heard all these conversations, your boys, whatever, been through it too. So it's like, okay,
I don't know anything
so
about that.
we gotta compromise. You just can't, unless like you talk communication, because this is not gonna make a relationship work. I cannot compete against this. If it's not a competition, let's talk about this and how we're gonna bring this together. Now you talking about making some money? Okay, how we gonna do this? You see? Real women would do that. Let me just say that. Let's just be real.
Oh, she said real women. There we go.
Because you said when you're talking about stuff on Facebook, you see people post, well, dude playing a video game, I like a guy. It just depends on how your mindset is looking at it. And again, I'm a person about making moves and making money, let the money, work, and I can still do something else, like I said, multiple streams of income. I don't have to compete. Let's just get on the same page. Teamwork make the dream work.
Right. I think essentially what happens is women and men have two totally different aspects on life, right? So, say for instance, you got your girlfriends, right? You and your girlfriends get it popping 3 to 5 p.m. every day, right? That's normal hours, you know what I'm saying? That's like something you can get over with. You still got your night to go with. You can make dinner, have dinner, and you want to chill, cuddle, spoon, talk in the bed, pillow talk, all of that. Men think about things like, yo, I just got to get the time when I got the time. So if the homies all did double shifts today and they don't all get off till 10 o'clock and you've been off since 5 and you probably been spending the time since you got off with your girlfriends at 5, so I've been kicking it, chilling, and he go ahead and start taking them tippy toes down the steps at 9 o'clock. You like, where the hell he going? He just spent 4 hours with you. But see,
we're not processing it like that.
Yeah, and that's where the communication got to come in. Like, all right, listen, I give you 4 or 5 nights a week. I need 2. I need 3. You know what I'm saying? Or something like
compromise.
that. Compromise. Yeah.
Meet me in the middle with this.
Just a little communication. That's all.
That's all it
is.
That's all.
Yeah,
y'all say little communication, and key word when you come in relationships with communication.
Right.
It ain't that little.
I mean, I see me and my wife, we kind of get each other. Like, we both basically are the female and male counterparts of each other. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, we always talk about how we don't want nothing from nobody. We're going to do it on our own. We're going to grind this, that, and the third. We don't care about people being in our pockets, whatever the case may be. People don't need to know if we broke. Don't need to know if we rich. Don't need to know if we rent, if we own it. Like, you know what I mean? We just don't talk to other people about everything. We just talk to each other. That's simple. You know what I mean? So, like, if you have that outlet of somebody to talk to, like, I do notice though, some men like the dog out people, and when you have that type of mentality, like where you like to dog people out and stuff like that, it just don't make a good relationship for you to be in, because you might be in an argument one day. You can't be dogging out your girl or your wife, you know what I mean, to your homies. None of it makes sense, you know what I mean? Like, that's supposed to be your queen, or he's supposed to be your king. You should never be dogging nobody out like that, you know what I mean? Especially the person that you building a life with, you feel me? So
that's true. So this is the platform, not sports talk show, but relationship goals show. This is how we do it.
yes,
oh man, once again, incredible show. So what are your thoughts right now on NBA 2K and what you're looking forward to for the next gen version?
Right now, I'm currently looking for patch 1, for sure. There's currently a lot of defensive sliding that's going on. Like, players are slower on defense and they slide a lot more. A little bit of lag inside the park with the 2K servers, inside the reg. It's just a whole long list of little gripes that I have that I've been tweeting and writing messages to with my angry little fingers.
Yeah.
And hopefully patch 1 will be great. As far as what I'm looking for in next gen, I'm looking for new mechanics. better graphics, better lighting, better color correction, and just an overall experience that will have everybody like, you know what? For those who waited, they be like, yo, I'm glad I waited. For those who played the last gen, which is right now, and then play the next gen, be like, thank God I'm off that. And I'm on this. You know what I mean? That's all I want. I just want consumers to be happy.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to say, yo, I'm happy, because I'm telling you, we get our little angry fingers going, and, you know, we just start writing to everybody, telling them how trash they are and they can't make video games and they suck and all this. I don't do all that. I just say, look, I try to look at everything with a half glass full. Like, if I see a dev work for 36 hours straight, that boy is working his ass off for that game. You know what I mean? I don't look at it like, oh, these guys don't know how to do their job. They do know how to do their job. It's just they aren't really game testing the way that we can game test. Every gamer tries to break the game. It's just that simple. We all try to break the game in any which way we possibly can. The devs aren't trying to break the game. They're trying to make that as fluid. It's doing crossovers. You can shoot. You can back to the basket. You can grab rebound. That's all they making sure. We're trying to see if we can do demigod glitches, see if we can do jump shot glitches, badge glitches, animation glitch. We're trying to break the game every single year. And if a game can go a year without any of those glitches popping up and having to ban people, that's a good year, because they've done their job to keep all the crazies out. That's all.
Right. Well, man, that's our show.
Ed Williams had a couple of comments real quickly. Can you see them?
Oh yeah, we already brought that up earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now, he did say that's brilliant when iPod was talking about equipment and how to properly get your start in regards to being a game creator. So that's what he was referring to earlier.
You see that stuff about investing? Okay, my stuff coming in late. Investing higher. They say you're welcome. Hat tip, you're welcome.
Yeah, he was saying earlier how when iPod was talking about investing earlier, saving up money, going to an airport, and etc. He was referring to that during that time. So yeah,
I missed all that. My stuff is so behind. My bad, y'all. So there you go. You just said we're wrapping it up. Have at it.
Yeah, we all good, man. So next Wednesday, because we have so many shows now, I be forget what day is.
I know, right?
But hey, that's a great thing, because I mean we doing big special things for our show. But speaking of next week, we will have another legend joining the show, and he'll be in the getaway in person. Former Webster Groves High School standout, also Missouri basketball standout. Johnny Parker will be our special guest in the getaway. We will be talking about his love of sports and basketball, and he's coaching instructor right now at Hoop 5 Basketball Academy. He's doing big things, so definitely look forward to having him on the show in person next Wednesday. And we have once again a slew of upcoming guests that we look forward to speaking with. iPod, once again, man, it has been an honor and a pleasure to have you on our show.
Man, you brought so much jewels and jam. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. All the way with the Northeast, East Coast accent. We appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you for having me, for sure.
Yes. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show. iPod, if you don't mind, just stay on after we go off, just so we can kind of have a little wrap session real quick. But this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Shouts out to Stan. He's making that money doing this thing. But I am your boy Smooth, along with
your girl Bunny.
When it's about sports,
it becomes our business.
And business, especially after the gems that iPod gave us, definitely
just picked up for real.
Yes. So y'all have a good rest of your Thursday. The Chiefs are up 24-7 over the Texans, so that's pretty much a wrap in the third quarter. We'll see.
The Lakers and Rockets, that's a wrap.
Lakers won that game in big fashion. So that's it. We'll see y'all next Wednesday. Peace out. It is a wrap, and we out this thing, y'all.
Peace.
We out. Ride. We out.